Let me tell you what the Lord told me yesterday. I want to tell you now. Nah, let me stop playing. By the way, sorry for the false alarm. Because I was just gonna do a live off my phone, but I was like, yeah, F it. Let me not be lazy. By the way, free Ben McLemore, free Ben McLemore. I'm gonna start off every stream by saying that free Ben McLemore. Um, the reason why I did the live, these past couple of days have been some of the funniest, weirdest days of my life, personally. And then on top of that, what I've been seeing this month, just in the month of February and even in the beginning of March, I've been baffled by the public how stupid even particularly the conservatives have been for the past month. I can't believe how stupid the average conservative is. They're putting in our face this news clip because I heard of the news. I heard what happened, and then I saw the picture. Property of Allah, right? Property of Allah. And I was like, is the public really buying this? And I'm talking about there's people that I even know, they're falling for it. People that I look up to, they're falling for it. And I'm like, there's no way. they just happen to find the guy. They're saying he did what he did. He just happens to have a shirt called Property of Allah. First of all, I ain't never seen no Muslim, right? With a shirt like that. I don't even think they're not even allowed to have paraphernalia like that. And then on top of that, it's in English. I'm just saying I'm sitting there like I'm like, it's always a cycle that I keep seeing. This is why I usually don't even touch politics. And then people get mad when I say this is pointless, because then I'll see stuff like this. And then we're always targeting a country that is not owned by a certain central banking system. This is getting it's if people don't see this by now, I don't know what to tell you. And if people want to call me a liberal for pointing out the obvious, I don't know what to tell you either. This is too obvious. This is too easy. We do this literally we do this basically every 10 years, it looks like. We crash the economy, whether they say it or they say it, explicitly, or it's implicitly implied. The economy crashes under whatever leadership, and then we stir up trouble, division amongst the people, and then we target certain countries and try to get people to fight in wars that we have no business being in. And they're willing to sacrifice a portion of the American public to push us into these wars. And we just see it's such a vicious cycle, to the point where I'm like, it's just wild. Oh yeah, and by the way, this is also why I don't even want to deal with the normies in general. You saw what happened with 50 Cent and T.I., right? And the normies automatically took T.I.'s side because they were just happy that 50 Cent was quote unquote backing off. But anybody with some sort of sense, I know this is a bit off topic, right? A little bit out of left field, but anybody with some sort of sense, they understood what 50 Cent was doing. Oh, 50 Cent's pulling away. He's backing up. In 1 month, I'm seeing people turn on 50 Cent and then people turning on Corey, and people should already know better by now. Like I said, February's been a weird month. It's just been a weird month. Oh man! And then lo and behold, hold on. So exactly. So thank you for participating. Yeah. Because I was wondering. So he says, Adam. He says, I thought they didn't like each other since like 2010. First of all, 50 Cent don't like he don't he's solo dolo. The only people you can say he likes specifically that he's never gonna turn on is Eminem, his boy, his partner, Yayo, and uh Dr. Dre. Everybody else is fair game. If your name, like I said, if your name is not Tony Yayo, if your name is not actually, let me not bring up no street ninjas names. If your name's not Tony Yayo, M, or Dr. Dre, anybody's fair game for 50. He took on New York. He took on whole of New York rap scene by himself. Basically, the whole East Coast by himself at one point. He don't fuck with nobody, right? Not like that. Now he does business, but he still got that streak in him, which I respect because I understand where guys like that are coming from. People like, oh man, T.I., look what T.I. said. Hey, look at what his family. Look, 50 Cent don't got no. People were so excited. I was like, oh, y'all don't see what 50 Cent's do? I was like, oh, ye of little faith. Y'all don't remember? I'm like, y'all don't remember who this guy is? Let me sum up because I think people forget. I think sometimes people need a reminder. Do you remember when what's that boy's name? The clown ass nigga. What's his name? The clown ass boxer. Broner. When he had that fight and 50 Cent actually put money on him. But there was something leading up to the fight that actually encapsulated 50 Cent in what he is. And it went under only few people got it. Let me see. 50 Cent reacts to Adrian Broner press conference. Let me see if I can find that video. Just 50 Cent reacts. Yeah, there it is. If there's anything, this encapsulates 50 Cent right here. His mentality. I'm gonna share this with you. Let me see if I can share this with you. This encapsulates 50 Cent right here. I forgot which year that happened too, but I think this video right here, this encapsulates 50 Cent. You're gonna hear Adrian Broner talking, and then you're gonna hear 50 Cent basically doing the background commentary.
That's all I want. And I know all y'all against me. Him right here. Leonard,
yeah, they against you.
They with this bitch ass nigga. Leonard a bitch ass nigga too.
They trying to knock you off.
You don't disrespect me like that. Shut up. You ain't with me. You ain't with me.
I'm with Jesse. I'm with Mayweather Promotions.
You with you ain't with me. I'm a real one.
I'm a real one. This is you understand now.
You guys gotta fight.
Yeah,
Saturday
shut
night.
that soft ass shit up.
And the best man
shut that soft,
yeah,
that soft ass shit. Shut that soft ass shit up.
Shut that shit up.
All that soft talking. I know you can do it, man. You got the. Man, shut that soft ass shit up.
Shut that shit up.
How about this?
Fuck that. Get the strap.
If you're victorious Saturday night,
I'm gonna be victorious.
What's the future?
I know they all against me. This what they want. They want AB. They want AB to go out.
It's time to go to war.
They don't want me to be. They don't want me.
You better win.
Nice
I bet my money on you, eh?
They don't want me to be APs. They don't want
I lose that money. I ain't fucking with
They want me
you.
to lose this fight.
That's 50 Cent's mentality right there. By the way, that's if you want to know, okay, what's 50 Cent's MO? That right there. Oh man. The way he said it, he's like, finally, you understand now, AB. you finally... Oh man, that's 50 Cent for you. Now, lo and behold, they're shocked that 50 Cent is gonna come back in a major way with T.I. and his family. Now I'm talking about there's rumblings now, which I already saw coming. They're saying that 50 Cent's about to start a documentary on the accusers that T.I. had. He's gonna basically do a Diddy type documentary, so similar to the Diddy documentary, and he's gonna do it with T.I. That's what the rumors are now speculating. Now people are backing off. I don't know if you noticed. You saw T.I.'s son like apologizing to 50 Cent's son about dissing his grandma. Now all of a sudden I'm hearing apologies, and now T.I. and his family are kind of backing off because they walked right into a trap. But people don't see. They can't see these things. I don't know why they can't see it. when Pusha T dissed Drake in 2018. Right. And it was right before Push's album. So right then and there, he does something. He does a diss. He put a little something in there. And then he does the interview with the Breakfast Club. And he's keeping it nice and quiet, basically tight-lipped. And then when I saw that interview, I was like, Pusha T got some dirt on Drake. This is a trap. I hope Drake doesn't respond to this. He needs to just relax because he was very tight-lipped that whole interview on the Breakfast Club. Then Drake responds with his little diss. I forgot what it was called. The audacity, the nerve. He starts off the track saying that, and I'm like, oh, here we go. Drake with his corny shit. He fell for the bait. I'm like, this is easy bait. Then Drake fans celebrated prematurely. They didn't even give it 24 hours, and they were like, "Man, Pusha T's a strong." I'm like, "You're not even gonna give it a day?" I'm like, "You think?" I'm like, "You think Pusha T he's just gonna leave that?" I'm like, "He probably got a track." I said, "Give it 2 days, not even." Then the story of Adidon comes out, and he exposes this. Basically destroys his whole marketing plan, his whole scheme, puts his whole business out there. People don't understand like the trap. Like when you see people do stuff like that, and then you ask them, "Hey, why did you diss such and such like that?" And then they're keeping it tight-lipped, is because they got dirt. One of the reasons why, I know I'm going off on another rant. When I saw Cameron mention his beef with J. Cole, right? And he's just talking about, he was supposed to do this track with, so he's supposed to do an interview with me, and I need him to honor his word. That's why I'm doing the lawsuit. And then they asked Cameron, "Look, why you trying to put a lawsuit on J. Cole? You don't bother nobody." And Cameron is just being tight-lipped about the situation. And that's where I start making some assumptions. I'm like, what kind of dirt does Cameron have on Buddy? Did he discover him doing something? Because this is more than just, he didn't honor his word and not do a podcast with me. It's more than that. This is more than that. And I think eventually we will find out. We eventually will find out. And Cameron's the type of dude. You got to watch people in their actions. Cameron he'll put certain things out there. He don't care. He's a what you call a RN. he's a RN. I know who the RNs are. I know people might say that's me being whatever, but the older I get, I know who the RNs are. The real ninjas. Cameron's an RN, right? He's just being tight-lipped. I'm like, I ain't never see Cameron act like this. I'm like, this dude is acting unusual. And I'm not saying, because I don't really know about Mace, because Mace, he's been compromised a little bit. So I think Mace is a funny dude, but I'm just telling you about Cameron. Cameron's an RN. And I'm just saying, like, he doesn't want to say nothing about the J. Cole situation. I'm like, okay, this is more than money. This is more than just a collaboration or he didn't honor a collaboration. There's something there. This is why, and also I did have inside information as well, but even without that, I'm like, something's there. Even without that, I'm like, there's something with J. Cole. I don't know what hey, there's something there, but people don't think like that. People don't think like that. But it's not a whole bunch of RNs out here, man. I know who they are. And I'm not saying I'm a RN because I'm compromised. I can't speak about 100% of everything. But I'm telling you, man. And look, I can't always be 100% sure about 50 Cent. The only thing I know about 50 Cent is this. I don't want beef with 50 Cent. Right? I don't want beef with Corey Holcomb. I don't want beef with Cat Williams. And I'm not even a Cat Williams fan like that, but I'm just trying to show there's certain people, they have a different thing to them. Some people, they just have a very strong mentality that you can't really put a word on what they have. They just have it. Right. 50 has shown me through his actions that the only thing he's guilty of, he already the stuff that he's guilty of is street ninja crimes that he's already been open about. Right? So he's already, and that's not to say, because I have my suspicions that 50 is not really done. And 50 has people that will shoot for him to this day. I know I might be putting a little bit too much business out there, but 50 is not, you can't just, there's a reason why 50 can walk into the hood and he'll be all right. He has roots in the streets. So I have to respect that. Right. There's certain people, they can do certain things. And this is why I be giving 50 the benefit of the doubt. But it was, man, I just remember people in the, just reaction to the T.I. and 50 stuff, 50 Cent situation. And everybody just took T.I.'s side because they feel like 50 Cent's a bully, even though I don't really look at 50 Cent as a bully. That's the average mind. That's the weak. That's what Corey Holcomb likes to call people. That's for the weak. They say 50 Cent's a bully. That's not true. 50 Cent takes on people by himself. It's really reckless on his part, but it's always when he's going at certain people, it's always the right move. I can't explain it. And it was funny. Somebody had asked me a while back, but what about 50 Cent doing this when 50 Cent was in a pickle a while back? And I remember just telling the person in the chat, I was like, look, I don't care what you saw. I don't know what happened, but I'm going to say this. You do not want beef with 50 Cent. I just left it at that. I can't explain everything to you. You don't want beef with 50 Cent. I had to say that also too to somebody else that I know. Somebody had asked me about the 50 Cent T.I. situation. I said, look, I don't know who I don't know if you don't know who T.I. is or 50 Cent. I'm just let you know. If I was T.I., I would back off. That's just one. There's certain people you don't want beef with. Trust me. Oh man. But anyways. By the way, let me also show you, because I love the shows like this. This is more of a freestyle type of show. I love this. Watch this. Let me give you some game real quick. 50 Cent Enlightenment. Let me see if I can find that video of Simmons. Now, because the thing is, I remember watching this video, and Russell Simmons, he says that he thinks that 50 Cent is enlightened. Now, Russell Simmons, by the way, he's a predator, mind you. Russell Simmons is not a good person, but even he knows I cannot mess with, you can't mess with certain people. right? So listen to Russell Simmons talk about 50 Cent. This is when Russell Simmons is on the run too.
But he's never afraid of the world. He's always giggling. And I remember this story. It's why I always say, nigga, are you enlightened? Because he's sitting there, they're filming a video, and Suge Knight, if you know the polarizing figure, sitting here with a gun in his lap, and there's 4 other guys, and they're all like really menacing, and they're going to extort the video. And 50 Cent sees them, starts laughing, and starts running full speed. He runs to his trailer, gets a Uzi, and runs out and chases them. And they get in the car and drive off. He barks at it like a dog. He's laughing and shit. These niggas won't be back again here. He's been shot 9 times, and most at one time 9 times. So a lot of these stories of enlightenment are people who had near-death experiences.
That's something I never. When I remember seeing Russell Simmons say that, and I'm like, I never thought about it like that. I'm like, maybe 50 Cent is enlightened, but you would have never. This is where I start questioning my own self. Oh, Chris, you looking in this too deep? Nah, because think about it like this. When you think of an enlightened man, right? An enlightened person, what do you picture? You picture probably some Asian dude, some Asian monk, right? Some old Asian dude with a gong and with the monk garb and all that, right? Somebody of a religious stature, right? Some an Indian, like you know, what's it, Siddhartha, you know, these people. You think about those kind of people, you would have never think in your mind a street ninja from Jamaica, Southside Jamaica, Queens, that got shot 9 times is enlightened. You don't think that. And I'm like, why can't he be enlightened? Why can't he be? Especially when I see the moves that he makes business wise and street wise, how he operates. And by the way, that story that he said, that's just one of many. That's an actual true story, right? Suge Knight don't want to be for 50. So there are things, but when you hear a story like that, you don't think enlightenment. But there's certain people that walk, even people that I'll watch. I'll watch even there's a streamer by the name of Speed, right? And the moves that he makes, it's almost like somebody told. It's almost like somebody. It's almost like he met somebody with a time machine. It's almost like he met somebody with a time machine, and the guy came back to Speed and said, "Look, just do this, stream for this amount of time, and then you're just going to be famous. And then just make sure you don't do this, don't do that, and then walk away from this." When I see Speed operate, I'm like, this guy, this guy is smarter than like most people, adults. I'm looking at Speed at the age of 17, 16, whenever he started blowing up, and I'm like, this guy is so ahead of his time. It's ridiculous. But people can never, I don't know, people might look at Speed and they don't see it. They see him doing the clownery, the buffoonery, but people don't understand that's all. These are things he's doing on purpose. You know, when he's doing all these flips and stuff, and then he'll do a failed flip that it's everything. It's almost like somebody told him what to do, and then he picked that up. It's weird, you know. So there's certain people they're always 20 steps ahead, 30, 50, right? LeVar Ball, right? A dad. This was a guy that was 20 years ahead of his time. Literally. Even when he talks about how he met his wife and why he chose his wife, he's like, my wife is tall. He said that she's, you know, I like how she looks, and she's skinny and she tall. I'm 6'6". We gonna make tall, but people don't even think that far ahead. Forget most ninjas. Most people can't even think that far ahead. This is a person that and people will just can't fathom why certain people are always just ahead of you. They're just always at some people, because most people, they just think it's that average thinking, man. Watch this. But these are the things I'd be thinking about sometimes. But man, shout out to Pyro in the chat, man. I'm sorry, I did a little bit of a false alarm because I didn't want to be lazy. I've done live streams on my phone and get crazy views. I don't know what it is. Where there's streams I would do off the cuff when I'm like traveling, when I did the live stream from upstate New York. I don't want to say where, the music retreat. You guys can watch it, and I was only on for like an hour, and I got like 500 views, right? But or when I traveled, when I was on tour 2 years ago, when I was in Pittsburgh, Miami, etc., and then I did the streams in North Carolina, and then I just get crazy views off the iPhone, But I didn't want to be lazy. I'm like, let me go on the laptop. Let's do this. Let me go on the PC. Let me show you guys some things. Oh yeah, by the way, this is what's trending on Twitter right now. US strikes on reach third day with more hits promised. US Operation Epic Fury hits amid rising casualties. Even the use of language, right? Killing the supreme leader. When they use language like that, they try to make it seem like whoever was the leader of Iran is some kind of a supervillain, right? So they do the same thing with the Venezuela. You'll see people fall for it in the comments. I'm talking about grown men. The Venezuelan people are oppressed. I'm like, Ninja, if you are living in some kind of, if you live in a country, or whatever country you're claiming, you're being oppressed. If you live in the United States, you're being oppressed in some sort of way. If you pay taxes, you're being oppressed. We own in the United States. You could literally buy something and you still don't own it. That is oppression. So nobody's safe from whatever. Even if you live in the first world country, you're not safe. But it was funny just seeing grown men. They're like, "Oh my god!" But Venezuela, they were doing bad. I'm like, bro, let's stop the nonsense. We already know why we did what we did to Venezuela. And then this is what I hate also when it comes to this kind of talk right here. And this is me calling out the men and some of the women, but mostly the men when it comes to politics, these things, what our government does. They will say that people like me, we have no right to criticize the United States or our country for being thieves, for gangs. We're not allowed to say, oh, they gangstered this because we're reaping the benefits. First of all, who's to say that we're reaping the benefits? I heavily disagree. I heavily disagree with that. The average man can't even support himself. The average young man can't even support himself. Can't even get a family, right? They can't. I'm talking about the average person can't have a job and then just live normally. It's basically he or she is living paycheck to paycheck. That's number one. Number two, thievery is thievery. So whether you think we benefit from this or not, thievery is thievery. We're going to these countries and we're basically jacking them. And because we're America, we're not supposed to say the obvious that we are jacking them. And then you'll have I'm talking about grown men, angry man specifically, and I've let him get away with this for far too long. People like Angry Man, people like Anton, they want to act like, oh, hey, but we America, we do okay. All right, if you're cool with gangster ish, all right, you can be cool with that, but don't be crying. These are going to be the same grown men that are going to cry when their wife gangsters them in family court, and then they're going to come back here and start crying about how somebody how they girl robbed them. But just last week, you have no problem with with the with our government robbing such and such for resources and oil and whatever, and we don't even reap the benefits from it. They act like we're people act like we're going to these countries and we're getting the resources and the resources is coming back to America. No, it's just to fill up the pockets of the elite, and we're not going to see a cent of it. In fact, they're just they're going to keep the money, the resources there, and then they're going to charge everything up. They get richer, we get poorer. We don't even get a benefit off that, and you'll have conservatives on here act like we're winning. we're winning. We're losing, bro. The average man, the average woman is losing. He said, well, keep gangstering. We'll keep gangstering. We will even the stuff. I remember Corey Holcomb was talking about this in the beginning with Anton Daniels, right? And people will say that's a liberal talking. How that's not no liberal talking. Thievery is thievery. Thievery is thievery. Right now, and I'm going to start being a little bit more open now because I have critiques of every president that we have. But let's talk about the president that we have. If you look at his family lineage, Orange Man comes from a line of gangsters. Let's just keep it a buck. If you look at his family lineage, many people have already gone over. I don't need to, dive into it. He has gangsters in his lineage. This is why he's able to have the money that he has today. So it's not really Orange Man's moves, the way he moves in politics or just in business in general, it doesn't shock me. This is why I've never had any beef with Orange Man, because he is what he is, right? But let's keep it above. What we're doing is wrong. And I don't like how conservatives will be like, well, you're staying in this country, are you? Well, yeah. But what's wrong is wrong. And to act like, okay, it's okay, we can gangster. Okay, we can gangster it. All right. But when people do gangster stuff back, you can't cry. You can't, you know what I mean? When I say that, you can't start mentioning God and morals and how evil somebody. If you're gonna stand on gangster stuff, you need to be prepared for gangster stuff to be happening. You gotta be prepared for the backlash, right? That's always been my opinion on these things, right? This is why, for me, that's why I don't even really like to talk politics, because people are just way too biased. they're way too biased. I'll talk about Obeezy, and people don't even understand when Obeezy was in office, this guy was the most ruthless, one of the more ruthless presidents that we've ever had. Like, Obeezy showed no like I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but it didn't matter if it was kids, women, whomever. If you're brown and you got two legs, he's sending a drone on your ass. Right? This is what Obeezy was doing. People don't understand. If you actually, there's actually a picture of Obeezy when he was younger with the Bush Leagues. Right? I don't want to say their names because those are gangsters as well. But once you see these things, you're like, oh, all of these people are basically connected, right? But yeah, but it was funny though when I was looking at these headlines. Shout out to Garrett Grant in the chat because people might think this is a liberal take, and I understand whatever. But what like, come on, a shirt that says "Property of Allah." And there's a Quran. They conveniently find a Quran in his car. What Muslim in America is even carrying a Quran in their car? This guy, stop. This is almost like with the the Charlie Kirk situation, right? And they quote unquote they found the guy. they put this punk up on the street, this white dude, and he happens to have this is another person that's connected to the Transformer community. He happens to have a Transformer boyfriend / girl. Man, I ain't buying that. But yeah, I don't know. The CIA, they're running out of ideas. The FBI, like whoever's running these games, they're running out of ideas. But the beautiful thing about what they did, here's the brilliance of their evil. Because the liberals are calling them out, the conservatives are not going to agree because the liberals are on their side. It's almost like with the it's like with the shot, right? The liberals only took the shot because they didn't want to be lumped in with the conservatives that were against the shot. So the shot became political, which should have never been political. It should have just been common sense. Because there was a lot of people saying, I'm not going to take the shot, liberal or conservative. But like I said at that time, I was like, nah, they're not going to give us a choice. I'm like, when they're rolling in these shots, and and we talked about this on the 5150 show too with Corey Holcomb, Riza Islam, Zoe Williams. I'm like, they're gonna make it basically where, oh, do you want to go to the club? Oh, okay, you need this, you need the shot. Oh, do you want to work? You want to do this? They're not gonna give you a choice. They're gonna say, oh, yeah, it's a choice. No, it's not. It's because you're gonna have to work. So if you want to work in certain spots, you're gonna have to take the shot. If you want to go to university, if you want to go to college, you got to take the shot. Now, everybody should have just stood up and be like, I'm not doing this, but it became political. This is what the powers that may be do. They make everything political. So when you see something obvious like what's happening property of Allah, the conservatives really should be like, dude, I'm not falling for this. But the conservatives, they'll take the stance of whatever because it falls right into their anti-immigration stance, which is nothing wrong with having an anti-immigration stance, but this is clearly a setup. Clearly a setup. Now the liberals are obviously going to be anti whatever they just pulled, but the conservatives, even the like the well-meaning conservatives, are not going to want to take that side because the liberals are going to be on that side. So this is why when it comes to the the politics, it's basically pointless. It's basically pointless because I'm seeing people that I know fall for it, and I'm like, I get it, but I'm like, bruh, come on, man. We have younger men that look up to us, right? Younger people that look up to us. We can't be that biased to fall for to spread easy propaganda like that, right? And like I said, you don't have to follow my lead on that, but that's just how I think, right? I'm not gonna be swept up in the politics, and I'm just gonna be like, what the fuck? This is a setup. I remember I was in somebody's chat and I said, I think politics are a waste of time, right? That's just what I've they seem to use the same ploy, they seem to use the same tactics, and it works every single time. And it's just thousands of years. I always say this. Actually, sorry, let me stick to my point. When I said politics is basically pointless. And then the guy said, black dude too. He said, I'm an idiot. And I'm like, bro, I know how politics work, bro. I know exactly how it works. That's why I think it's pointless. It doesn't. People always ask. This is what happens. People will always ask, okay, well, Chris, how do you think politics work? I'm like, I'm gonna tell you how politics work, right? I'm a man with some means, not only with means, connections. Say if I'm a man with a lot of means and connections, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna partner up with other men and women with means and connections, because there's some small hat women that are making bank out here, and they will never tell you. They will never tell you. That's a whole other story for another day. I'm gonna leave that alone, right? I'm gonna partner up with those people. I'm going to highlight young talent. I'm gonna see who my sons and daughters are going. Who do they go to high school with? I'm going to set up a program here. I'm going to set up a donation. Let me see if I can scout out a young, talented speaker, a young, talented female speaker, male speaker, bro. Let's see who has the bravado. Okay, this guy has a following. Let me back him. I'm going to put some money in his pocket. Let's all come together. We will choose him. I back him or her or shim, right? Because they got transformers in office now. I'm going to put some money in that person's pocket. I will back some of his causes, and then we will put him in certain places, make sure we get him in locally elected to certain places and have him do our bidding. And then eventually we'll see how obedient he is to us. The more he does for us, the more money we'll put in his pocket. We'll even give him a wife. we'll give him a wife, and or if he's gay, we'll give him a husband and some other things, right? We're going to groom him or her into what we need him to be. The more obedient he or she is, the more money we'll put in his pocket. The more clout he gets, the more money's in our pocket, and eventually we'll get him into Congress, national, and then we'll see what happens to there. But all those people that you see, they're backed by somebody, and they were scouted at a young age. These people that you see on TV and these political, that's how politics work, bro. These people are already bought and paid for, and the ones that are not, they usually get killed. Or they could be following the program for however long they were following the program for, and then as soon as they stray a little bit off path, all of a sudden, such and such committed self-harm, or you'll see another headline like this: such and such killed his whole family, and now he's on the what? No, that's cap. He found out something, or he did something a little bit off program, and now they gotta. Oh yeah, and by the way, this is some funny stuff. Watch this. By the way, I don't know if you noticed this. Let me see if I can search this up. Candace Owens. See if I can search it up. Hopefully. Okay, good. I don't know if you've been noticing, right? With Candace Owens, you had a lot of conservatives and people being mad at Candace Owens for questioning the Charlie Kirk situation. And it's funny, the stuff that they're saying is like, yeah, they were calling her a demon. That's what they were calling Candace Owens a demon. and all these things. I'm like, you think that's gonna stop Candace Owens from trying to find out the truth? Oh, Candace Owens was she probably was Charlie Kirk's side piece. Yeah, and that's gonna make that's gonna make it worse for you guys if that's true. Okay, they're saying Candace Owens was Charlie Kirk's side piece. Probably was. That makes it even worse. That means she's definitely going to be on your ass. Now, what the small hats? The small hats have evilly, designed. And when I say the small hats, I mean the Z word people. Now, I'm not talking about the average, small. I'm talking about the Z words, right? The Z words have had it perfectly where they have infiltrated both the conservative and the Democratic, plantation. And they have it so perfect, but there's always glitches in the system. And now for the right party, right, for the conservative for that thing to stay together, they basically now have to rely on Candace Owens. They need to basically hope that she shuts up. That's what's keeping the conservative party on the thread right now, is hoping that Candace Owens shuts up. Do you understand how funny that is? To keep this whole political game going, they have to basically hope that a black woman is going to shut her mouth. Good luck with that. Oh man, that's funny, man. When you think about it like that, this is when we talk about the glitches in the system, right? Shout out to Pyro though in the chat. Shout out to Garrett in the chat. Pyro says politics is a waste of time, and them MFers act holier than thou, the libs and the conservatives. He says people seem to get mad when you say you're not into politics. Yeah, I get that all the time. You're not you'll get it from the liberals, especially the female. Oh, if you're not a liberal, that means you're just, they say if you don't take a side in politics, they just automatically means you're conservative. I'm like, guys, and usually I don't get questioned with that, but the rare times where somebody will be like, well, that means you're this, I'll be like, you cannot be this retarded. I just say that out. I'm like, you cannot be this retarded. I'm like, and I always say this. Okay, do you follow sports? Right? Say if you follow the NBA, you're a Celtics fan. Because I have critique of the Celtics fan, does that mean I'm a Lakers fan or I'm a Knicks fan? No, that just means I have critique for that team. If look, I don't say if I tell somebody I don't like waffles, oh, that means you like pancakes. No, I just don't like waffles. The fuck? But people are really that retarded. That's why I'll just say I don't even, like, when it comes to liberals, I don't even, deal with that. But you'll still get that on the conservative side to an extent. And you saw it with the Corey Holcomb situation. You had these wannabe black male conservatives. That's what I be calling these dudes nowadays. These wannabe trad con dudes calling Corey Holcomb a liberal. You had wannabe trad con dudes calling Coach Greg Adams a liberal because he opposed Andrew Wilson. I even had to educate people in the chat because when CGA made his show about Corey Holcomb, you had people in the chat say, oh yeah, Corey Holcomb, he's the typical ninja that does. I'm like, you guys are not that smart. I'm like, and this is why I always try to educate the chat too, where I tell you there was a time, people might not remember how the pro-blacks used to be. And I'm not saying they weren't clowns back in the day, but I'm just saying the classic pro-blacks, they don't care about none of this political ish. They think everybody's racist. If you ask Dr. Umar Johnson, well, what side do you support politically? He's gonna look at you like he's like you're crazy. If you ask Tariq Nasheed, and Tariq Nasheed, he's more of like grift central. He's just what he's kind of he's more on the grifter side. But I got some kind of respect for him because I used to see him do some other things back in the day. But like those are what you like the classic pro black. They were of like the nine, particularly you talking about those guys that are in their these guys are in their 50s, their late 40s, but particularly in their 50s today. Those guys were in their 20s slash early 30s in the 90s. Those guys and women, they don't mess with none of that political ish. They think everybody's racist. That's their mindset. They're not pro liberal, pro conservative. They pro none of that, right? But I think because the pro blacks that they see today are basically just pro black women, right? So black women is God and the queen, the mother of the universe, and all this nonsense. And you did see that stuff in the 90s too, but the today's pro blacks are basically liberals. They're liberals. And there's no doubt about it. They're like today's pro blacks are liberals. They are married to the Democratic Party. Right? So they forget that you'll have a guy like a Corey Holcomb. He doesn't look at parties and stuff like that. You see, Donald Herman Collins, he says Candace Owens speaks truth to power. And the thing is, look, Candace, her role, because she is a plant as well, but like I say, certain things you can't predict. So Candace Owens, she's a little bit of a glitch in the system because, yes, her role was this, but she has like Candace has gone completely off script, like completely off script for a while now, right? So they can't, the powers that may be, they can't kill her because it would just be too obvious at this point. They're just basically praying that Candace Owens shuts up, and that's not gonna happen. Even I saw something too with Jason Whitlock. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Adam Adu says Candace called it that Charlie's wife was a nasty one, but that was like when you look at her background, she's banned from ain't she banned from a country? Hold on for a second. Is that even true? Let me see. Erica Kirk banned from Romania. Like shit. They were saying that like one of her charities or something happened to where she's like banned from a like or whatever group. She was tied to a group that was like that she was banned. Now, all the sources, they're saying that this is not true. But when I'm seeing fact check saying it's not true, that means there might be something to it. That everybody's way too much in unison. But whatever, I'll take their word for it. But Erica Kirk's background is crazy. Adam A. Dude said CGA a lib. There ain't no way, bro. I want you look at that debate with Andrew Wilson and CGA. You should have looked at the comments. You should look at the chat. They were calling CGA a degenerate. They were calling him a liberal, and he's this. And I'm like, you guys have a very lazy way of thinking. And unfortunately, when it comes to conservatives, particularly young male conservatives, they do not know their history. They don't know. They're just not used to. I said this to Zero G when he was on here. I said there's a lot of people, they're not used to a free talking black man. Meaning, in their mind, a free talking black man is just a person that parrots conservative talking points in their mind, right? Or a black dude that's not quote unquote hood, right? Who's not quote unquote ghetto. That's in their mind. That's what's a free talking black man is. A lot of people don't know what a free talking black man sounds like. I'm talking about a lot of people. You know, it's actually quite unfortunate, but it is what it is. And you see it with Corey Holcomb. I say you see it specifically with Corey Holcomb. Um, I saw something, um, in because unfortunately, it's not necessarily the content creators, it's the followers, right? So I remember, yeah, CGA had made a claim that he thought that because CGA, unfortunately, as much as I have respect for him, he's kind of gone the full Tommy Sotomayor route, meaning he thinks everybody's just stealing from him, which I actually agree with some of that. I'm talking like there's a lot of YouTube content creators that have stolen from CGA. Even me, I'll say this: I believe there would be no Chris Mike channel without CGA paving the way. I will definitely go down and say that. But he thinks everybody's stealing from him. So to the point where he thinks that Corey Holcomb stole a joke from him. And I'm like, the joke that he said that he thinks that Corey stole. I'm like, I heard Corey say this like literally a decade ago, so he's always on that kind of, and everybody's stealing from me, type of thing. And I'm like, I'm not saying he's wrong, but I'm like, bro, Corey Holcomb is a comedian. He's not stealing. He's not stealing from you, right? People in this space are stealing from Corey Holcomb. Right? It's actually the opposite. And the specific joke that CJ was talking about, I've heard Caucasian men say similar when I was a younger man. I forgot, it was like some kind of Daffy Duck joke, whatever. But I just remember when he described the joke, I'm like, I've heard what older white dudes say that back in the day. When I was growing up. So I'm like, I don't know about that. And then the specific joke that he said, like, there's clips of Corey back in, like, like for back in the day, and he said that. So I'm like, no, I don't think a legendary comic is stealing from no disrespect, but a YouTuber. That's not true. But because of it's one thing to think that, but because he has followers, right? Since CGA has followers, his followers just they bought the story without doing any research. They were calling Corey, like the people in the chat were calling Corey all types of crazy things. I was like, whoa, So this is also where it seems like no matter how old people are, how old we get, or what level that we think we are, we have to be very responsible with our platform. We can't just be calling people thieves. We can't just be calling people PDF files, right? It's one thing if you call somebody a fraud, if you think somebody's grifting, if you think somebody's whatever. But when you're levying certain allegations, you can't just put on a grown man. And unfortunately, we have grown men in this space, manosphere space, whatever, thinking you could just call somebody something and think that's okay, But it is what it is. People got to be a little bit more responsible with their platforms, right? Like I said, that takes nothing away because CJ can think that, but he needs to be more responsible because the people underneath him, they're just gonna buy it. Let me see. Pyro, the Flame King, says, I think both sides don't like ninjas, but would like to use them for votes and make them look good. I agree. I actually agree with that. That's why I always say, and I'm talking about even with my critiques of the conservatives, I always tell men, don't I'm like, if you guys can get the chance, just vote conservative. Just just vote conservative. Just because, only because the libs take your vote for granted and they still blame you. So I'm like, just to make a statement, all of you guys should just vote conservative, because black men are still getting the brunt of the blame from particularly BWs, and black men are actually the largest voting block in terms of just by percentage. Not by numbers. I'm just talking about by percentage. Black men are their biggest support, not by numbers but percentage, and we still get the brunt of the blame. I'm like, you might as well vote conservative, right? But at the same time, I always say that don't let politics, or don't let that affect who you're voting for. You need to look at the policies, look at who they're financially backed by, and then make a honest decision on what you want. Now, if you don't have any skin in the game, your vote doesn't really matter, in my opinion. But if you do have some skin in the game, then you maybe can have a say. So it is what it is with that. Because I think people think it's just like, I'm not afraid to say, because I don't think women should vote, but I think most people in general are not qualified to vote, man or woman. I think most people, I would say 90% of the public should have their voting rights stripped. But that's just me. Most people don't have skin in the game, and most people are they're politically ignorant about how things work. So that's just my belief, right? Let me see. Did I? Oh, my bad. I think I. Oh, here we go. Power of the Flame King says, I do remember when women, even if they voted for Kamala, they still don't like black men. Like they like it's come to the point where even I've seen even some, female liberal leaders, meaning like I've seen even Stacey Abrams. She's had to actually defend black men in some points, because I'm talking about the average black women will just blame black men for if their politicians don't go in. And I've even heard female black Democrats be like, actually, no, we can't do this, guys. Because at the end of the day, the politicians are politicians. They don't even really care about this shit. They're just looking for power. They've had to educate black women and be like, no, black men are are our biggest supporters by percentage. So, because have I shared that clip with you? Where, let me see if I can find that clip, because I found it funny that Stacey Abrams came to black men's defense. I was laughing so hard, I couldn't believe it. See, Stacey Abrams. Oh, let me see. Stacey Abrams defends black men. Let me see if I can find that clip. Let me see if I can find that clip, because it was a young woman. She was trying to blame black men for Trump getting into for Orange Man getting into office, and Stacey Abrams had to be like, that's not true. Oh man, I might have to it's probably under my saved videos. It's one of the funniest videos though I've seen politically, because I'm just like the ignorance. Oh man, that's what I tell black men. Just vote conservative, just because. Because I'm not if you're gonna blame, if I'm gonna get all the blame, if I'm gonna get all the blame, I'm just gonna oh man. Screw all that. F all that. Let's see if I can find that Stacey Abrams video. Cause I thought it was oh man, but like I said, the sometimes the propaganda works too well where even the people that push the propaganda have to be like, whoa, you guys are damn, y'all taking it too far. Y'all hoes on TikTok taking things too far. Trying to see if I can find it. It might be really down there. I saved a lot of videos on Twitter. So old classic video. Oh yeah, and then I don't even think I did a reaction video to it. Like I was in the middle of doing. I remember being in the middle of doing it and then having to switch gears. Yeah, right here I found it. I know it was a long scroll, but right here. You had like this lady with the green hair. She was about to blame black men for why Kamala wasn't in office. Oh man, it's crazy work. But here we are. Let me play this. This was funny to me. Here we
want to
go.
bring up. And to me, I feel like this is something not to point fingers or the blame, because I feel like when you divide, obviously that's when you conquer, right? But a big part of the people that I know was not going for Kamala, let's just talk about that whole situation. It wasn't us. It wasn't the black women that wasn't going out and voting. Honestly, I spoke to a lot of black men and they were not going out to
statistics tell us that most black men that voted did vote for Kamala.
Exactly. Well, I'm talking about people like now on.
She talking about, I interviewed me. You talking about she talking about ninjas in the manosphere. That's what she's talking about. That's what she's talking about. Oh, I have my sample size. It was probably one or two ninjas that you talked to that said that they were not going to vote for Kamala. And just because they said they weren't going to vote for Kamala doesn't mean they voted for Orange Man either. A lot of ninjas I know, they didn't even vote in general. But, that's a whole other story.
Radio, I have a lot of people that call in, and they made it very, very clear that they were never going to vote for Kamala ever, is what they said. They said they'd take anyone over her.
So I will say this. So having experienced this myself, I can speak from a place of both power and information. Okay. Sexism is absolutely real in every community. Racism is absolutely real. But let's look at the data. And what the data says is that black men support black women. Black women support black women the most. Yeah. But the next highest support system, black men. Now,
Now, I've said this. It's kind of sad that it took one of the, somebody like her of all people to put that out there. But the stats, at the end of the day, the stats are the stats. I told people too, especially when it comes to politics, even the most conservative of black men, they will vote for a black woman no matter what party it is. If they find out if it's like a black woman in politics and she's running for a position, and if her opponent is white, whether it be white man or white woman, it doesn't matter what party that black woman is, the black men are going to vote for her out of loyalty. That's what they do. Right? This is what ninjas do in general. Now, it's just what's happening right now. Most of the black women that run nowadays, they are on the Democrat side. So they'll just vote for her. Whatever, This is what ninjas do. Ninjas are black women's biggest supporters, yet they get the most hate, yet they get the most shtick. And you have people like the lady in the green hair. By the way, that lady that's in the green hair, people might not recognize her. Let me see if I can. So remember. This is the woman. Remember, this is the woman that Michael B. Jordan was saying. Remember, Michael B. Jordan called. This is the same woman that Michael B. Jordan called out on the red carpet for making fun of him back in high school. So these are. I keep telling you, these women activists, feminists, whatever, that are like really big into their feminism nowadays and stuff. These were the mean girls when they were in high school. So you got to be careful who you look up to as leaders. But anyways,
support Black women. Black women support Black women the most. Yeah. But the next highest support system is Black men. Now, a lot of folks who call in to tell you what they are going to do weren't planning to do anything anyway.
They didn't vote at all.
And so we need to
exactly. But anyways,
remember that disinformation often comes by planting people in our communities to fracture our belief systems. Black men voted for me at the same rate they voted for Raphael Warnock. But if you heard the news, Black men couldn't stand me, and that is designed to fracture our communities. I think it is so.
That is true in terms of Stacey Abrams. Yeah, Black men voted for her the most when her time her time came. And I think I'll say this. I think the people in, you know, Stacey Abrams camp, or particularly the older Black female politicians, I think people are now starting to put them up on game, and they're telling them, like, look, here you are. You guys are sitting there bashing Black men, but Black men are literally your biggest supporter. Male supporters, or really supporters in general. You know what I mean? Because I'm talking about more support than Caucasian women, and here they are getting the most shtick. You know, but this is just what the data says.
Important that you raise that, because one of the misinformation points is that they leverage our inherent mistrust of systems to convince us that we don't have the support that we need.
That's right.
My responsibility is to never let them tell me that my brothers don't love me as much as my sisters do.
Amen. That's right.
But the other reality is that when they do those exit polls, you got to remember, we are 13% of the population. How exactly are you finding a representative sample when you're only talking to one or two people in every state? They then extrapolate from that in ways that shape narratives but defy math.
That's right.
And so we can't let them tell us who we are. But my point is,
shout out to Stacey Abrams, of all people. I couldn't believe it. When I heard it, I was like, I cannot believe it. Oh man. But anyways, of all people. But that's what I tell Black men, just vote conservative. Just for that. I just want you to see the just to see. Just to see. Oh man. Anyways, let's look at some of these clips here. Adama Adu said, I don't think that's her real hair color. Yeah, like that girl, man, you already know light-skinned bitches like that be wilding. But anyways. Oh yeah, by the way, this is also something I get tired of. I get so mad, particularly because I've had Black women of all, you know, shades and skin tones get mad if I say one thing about Black women. They be like, oh, you don't like this type of Black woman. You don't like that type of Black woman. And all that. I'll say this. I'm very unapologetic about, you know, my opinions on light-skinned bitches, right? You know what I mean? It's nothing personal. It's not a personal attack. I'm just describing what I'm seeing from certain individuals, right? So for example, let me bring up an example, because I just saw this old video. Sorry, so let me see if I can bring this up, because I saw this old video that I never covered as well. So I remember this situation happened, right? Teen boy snatched up his female classmate and threw her into a desk after she slapped him 3 times. His mother is defending her son, saying he was only restraining her before walking away, and the females should not hit the males. So I remember it was a young man that got into something, and she was acting all innocent, but she instigated the situation. So right here, let me see if I'll play it from the beginning. Though, let me play it from the beginning. Because I just think it doesn't matter really which type of background of female that I talk about. For some reason, when you call out people for lying, they get mad that you peep them lying. They'd be like, "Why? Even though she's lying, why are you calling her out for lying?" I'm like, "Bro, you can't be out here capping." You know?
Tonight to a story that you can only see here on 11 Alive, showing a Snellville middle school boy throw his female classmate into some desks before walking out of the room. 11 Alive's Chase Howell spoke to the mother of the boy who's in that video, who says people have it all wrong, and she has proof.
It was this.
So right here, I'm gonna actually skip that part because then they're gonna say this is violence, right? So right here, let me skip right to what to the mom defending her son. Now the problem is, like I said, they see big, tall black boy, and they see young, fair-skinned broad, and she might have had some bruises at the time. They're just gonna automatically assume that he's in the wrong, right? But let's hear out the mother of the son that that threw the homegirl to the ground.
After that, he just scrolled on his phone. It happened a few more times where she hit him repeatedly. And the video that I showed you was the last slap that she did before he finally retaliated.
On Friday, I interviewed Paradise Muhammad, the girl you see slapping Derek before getting thrown. The video we showed you originally was given to me by her family, and it only showed part of the full video. And while we were unable to get a hold of Cotton yesterday, she ended up reaching out with an extended version of the clip. But here's how Paradise answered me when I asked if she hit her classmate during our interview.
Did you smack him 3 times?
No, wasn't no.
Because the person at the school I talked to said there's video of you hitting the kid 3 times before he snatched you up. Is that true?
No.
So if she's willing to lie about that, even though he told her like, yo, they said they got you on video hitting the dude. No. Now, I'll say this, and people might say, oh, well, you can't be talking about a kid like that. This is a liar. I'm already looking at her and she lying. She got a different colored weave on top of whatever she got on her head with some baby hairs. I know she lying. Them glasses then she thought she could be like them, you know how white girls, they put on their little glasses and they can make themselves look innocent. She thought she could do the same thing right here. She finally wore her glasses for this interview. But what I see is a liar. But most people are going to see this and they're just going to see a victim. And the actuality is the bigger dark-skinned dude, he's actually the victim. Unfortunately, he lashed out. But this is unfortunately, when you talk about the average mind, right? The average mind, they're not willing to to go out there and be like, nah. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Let me see this. Here we have this tweet from Brian Atlas from the Whatever podcast. And this is one of the funniest tweets I've seen also today. He says, I have developed severe trust issues after having hosted the Whatever podcast for nearly 4 years now. He says, the lies I've heard, the worst is the fake virtue, even quote unquote Christian women claiming to be virgins, claiming to be waiting until marriage, but I get a DM from the ex-boyfriends. And what's funny about his tweet is I realize that really all those Christian hoes from back in the day, all they had to do was say that they were a virgin, and the dudes would just buy it. That's what I took from this tweet. I'm like, so if you never like, if your name, if you're a Brian Atlas type of character, these guys were just taking the they were just getting these girls and they're just taking their word for it that they were virgins. Mind you, I think Brian, isn't he like 30 years old? Like in his early 30s. So if he never came across this type of information, he was just gonna meet a 27-year-old, 28-year-old woman, white female, Caucasian female, and all she had to tell him was, "I've only been with 3 people," and he would have bought it. That's all it took. So that's all it took back. It really looks like before this explosion of our, the content that, we want to call male related content. It looks like all women had to do back in the day was just lie. And men just bought it, or they just didn't care to do they didn't care enough to do the research. Cuz I don't know why he's shocked about quote unquote Christian women lying about their body count. All women lie about their body count. So, and I always say this, it's really a number. The number is something that you really don't want to know anyways. It's some I don't even think when it comes to these numbers, most men ain't ready for those numbers. He said the lies I've heard. Let me give you an example. Let me see if I can find, because I don't think I saved it. I remember seeing one clip on the Whatever podcast, which had me laughing. See, the Whatever podcast says she's a born again virgin. There's this one chick that I saw on there that dudes was simping over. Let me see if I don't know if they can, because there was this one chick who I saw that everybody was simping over, and and just off of one look, just off of looking at her, I already knew what type of chick she was. I'm probably not gonna find it, but there was this one specific chick. She said that she was like a born again virgin, but it was like the public wouldn't have known she was a born again virgin unless if Brian didn't impress her. If Brian didn't impress her about her past, she would have never. The men that followed that podcast, they would have kept simping for her. Damn, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find that girl. See videos, popular. Damn, yo, I did, dude. So this dude be having 10-hour long podcasts, 8 hours. Oh my God! Now that I did not know this about the Whatever podcast. Guys, I want you to take a look at this. If you guys saw, a lot of people I know, they're just listening, so they might not be watching. But you on your replay, please look at this. Go on the Whatever podcast YouTube channel and go under the live tab. These podcasts range from 8 hours long, 10 hours long. 8 hours long, 10 hours long, 9 hours long, 7, I'm talking about regular 9-hour long, 10-hour. Who's on there for 10 hours? What? This is what people be doing with they. Oh my God. Man, we need to have a talk. Let's have a talk right now. Forget my point about what I was gonna bring with the whatever podcast. Forget. Let's have a talk right now. Shout out to Al for the first one. Shout out to Al for the first one. I got respect for you. Let me see. Yeah, shout out to Alpha. I liked his takes about what he was talking about. Rachel Wilson. But like I said, before we get back to the internet, men, let's have a talk. This is why hoes do not respect y'all. Let me put it back to the whatever podcast channel. Let me show y'all this again. This is ridiculous. Guys, people are watching 10-hour long podcasts of hoes. Andrew Wilson is on these panels with these hoes for 8 hours. Do y'all want to see women get this so bad that you're willing to watch 8-hour, 9-hour long podcasts? So these dudes are sitting there gaming, gooning all day, and then have this in the background for 10 hours. Because I'm looking at the views. They get hell of a lot of views. 10 out and hell of a lot of, so these people watched. So Not So Erudite and Andrew Wilson had a debate. Talk about picking on low-hanging fruit. Jesus Christ. People actually watched this 8-hour debate with Andrew Wilson and Not So Erudite, and then you guys wonder why women don't respect y'all? Bruh, if the women that I talk to, just regularly, if they found out that I was watching an 8-hour debate, cheering on Andrew Wilson, debating Not So Erudite, an 8-hour long debate. What? They're gonna look at me like, clearly you're not a productive nigga. Guys, what are we doing? Young men, if you guys are listening, young men, don't do this. Don't do this. First of all, Andrew Wilson, he's not only is he a charlatan, a fraud, and all, this guy's a piece of shit. I'm gonna just keep it a buck with you. He's a piece of shit. That's just what he is, right? He's a piece of shit. His wife's a piece of shit. It's really a piece of shit family. The people like that are the reason why they're the reason why the people on the right, the conservatives, the Christians, they don't have a good name because of people like that, right? Their life is a wreck. They're terrible examples of what a normal, healthy family with real values should look like. That's already number one. Number two, guys, you guys can't be watching 10-hour streams and then you're complaining about, oh man, women are taking our jobs and all. If you guys are sitting there watching 10-hour streams, what the fuck? What is this? Y'all watching 10-hour nigga. Look at the view count though. Look at the because you don't, guys. If you watch a live stream for like 2 minutes or 5 minutes, and it's like a 2-hour, 3-hour stream, they're not going to count it. Just to let you know, if you only watch a live stream for like 5 minutes and then you leave, a lot of the times they won't even really count it as like, in terms of when it comes to viewer retention and all this, they won't count it in the statistics. So people are really tuning in. These, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. Let me do something for y'all. And this might mess up my algorithm, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to do something that I have never done this in I haven't done this in my 15 years in terms of subscribing to YouTube channels, because even it's YouTube channels that I despise now, but I don't unsubscribe just out of loyalty. So this is what I'm going to do. As we speak, I am going to unsubscribe to Fresh and Fit right now in public for you. Because there's a lot of old channels that I used to subscribe to. And I still keep the subscription because it's like, whatever, it's a subscription. Now we have to set the standard because men, we're like, because I don't even, mind you, I don't watch Fresh and Fit in terms of the female shows. What I used to watch the one-on-one shows where it would be like Myron in Fresh, and then it would be Tommy Sotomayor or one of these guys. I always felt like the female panel show was a waste of time, but I subscribed at the time because I'm like, you know what, why not? It's a lot of people I've subscribed to, even guys that I don't agree with. Like, let me see, Angry Man. Like, I'm still subscribed to Angry Man, even though I don't fuck with him right now. There's a lot of people on my list that I don't even fuck with, and I'm still subscribed to him, just off of loyalty. But we need to set the standard. We need to set the standard. I'm sorry, we can't do this. Young men, you need to be productive. Guys, I don't care what you do. You guys cannot be watching these streams for 10 hours. This is not, come on. This is not good. This is not good. Because this is embarrassing, actually. This is embarrassing. Because, okay, watch this. I'm looking at the most popular live streams that they had. 5 hours long, 3 hours, almost 4 hours long, 5 hours long. Look at the millions of views. 3 hours long, 5 hours long, another 5 hour long, 8 hours long. The one that Charlie Kirk came on when he came on the whatever podcast. 8 hours long. This is people viewed in to watch this for 8 hours. And you got people complaining about, mind you, you got these people, you got these same so-called young male conservatives, these so-called based people, and they will talk about how young women waste their time watching Love and Hip Hop and Jersey Shore and these Love Island and all this stuff. But this is what young men are watching. This is worse, because at least Love Island is only what? How many? It can't be. Love Island can't be no more than an hour long. we these alpha males. We're this and we're based and we're but this is what y'all watching. This is what y'all doing with your time, and they can't fathom why bitches is just looking at these dudes like, why don't these dudes be shy? Why don't women respect me? And why don't girls? Oh, of course they don't respect you. They don't even fear you. Forget respect. They don't even fear you. This is what young men, guys, we cannot be doing this. This is not good. This is very discouraging. I thought we were making progress. We clearly are making progress. How are these videos? And people be sending mad super chats to these pods too, like mad money. This is crazy. This is not only discouraging, this is embarrassing. Adam A. Do said based Chris is what I listen to. Thank you, man. But this is not like, this is embarrassing. It's I'm shocked and embarrassed. I did not know the whatever podcast was getting, viewer retention like this for 8-hour long I didn't know their streams can get that long. So people are and then people are watching the Andrew Wilson debate. This one was 4 hours long, and then he had one that was like 6 hours long. Yeah, the Charlie one, this was 6 out. I'm like, it's man, come on, man. Young men, please, guys. Come on, guys. This is not good. How is content like this? Millions of, how are people watching this stuff for 6 hours, 7? What? Man, we're fucked. We are fucked. No wonder why CGA is trying to distance himself from the space. Because now, if people if the people that I know, they find my channel, they're gonna associate me with this. That's what they're gonna. I'm like, I'm not watching this gargly goop. Are you kidding me? I rather mop. I would rather mop the ocean than watch an hour of any of that nonsense. I will. Oh, hell no. I would pick up sand on the beach. I would rather clean up sand on the beach than do that. That is wild. Hell nah. I don't know. I know a girl that used to say that on Instagram. She used to have me laughing. She said, she said, I remember she said some shit. I'm like, she said, I would rather mop the ocean than. Shout out to Bing 304. That used to be one of my favorite Instagram accounts. But anyways, yeah, Alpha, the first one, said it's incel rage farming. Pretty sad. Yeah, what's happening is they have found a fan base of young men who have their frustrations with women, and they're willing to literally give them their money just so they can talk crazy about them, not knowing that those OF girls, they're just there to promote themselves. They're willing to super chat just to talk crazy about them, and then in the background still pay for their OnlyFans. This is wild work. They've really locked into that fan base, the certain part of the market where men will super chat these things to these young ladies. And they don't even these young ladies, they're just shit. All I got to do is show up on whatever podcast and just talk crazy. Shit, that's gonna be easy. Man, those OF girls, like, this is the easiest promo I've ever had in my life. Hey Chris, you wanna? Nah, I can't react to none of this shit right here. I can't give that to the people, bro. I cannot do that. I'll say this. I used to give a lot of those people passes too, but I always said this, with the whatever podcast, I knew that was one platform I knew I could never get behind. Because I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. CGA put me on to Fresh and Fit. So that's what I would watch, those morning, some of those morning shows. It's but the I just remember watching two or three of the panels where Fresh and Fit did it with all the women, and I was like, I can't watch this. This is god awful content. But if you look at the numbers, that's what gives them the most views. So they're willing to lock into that, that low vibrational type of, men, and they're willing to lock into those guys. That's not it. I can't do that. He said it looks like slop. Alpha, the first one, says the worst part is they bring on the fake trad based conservative women like Rachel, Billy Ray, Candace Owens, etc. That is the worst. Facts. Yeah, Billy Ray, that's another one. I forgot about her. Billy Ray, I completely forgot about her. I say the worst trad con woman though. The worst one for me is Lila Rose. I hate that bitch. She's the worst. She's the worst. Out of all of them. Out of all of them, she's the worst. I think out of all the clips that I've shared, I've only shared 2 clips. Out of all the content that I've done on my channel, I've only shared 2 clips of the Whatever podcast. One was with Andrew Wilson talking to a stepmother, and then 2 was the one with Lila Rose was talking to Justin Waller, and I was defending Justin Waller against Lila Rose. And so I don't even talk. Like I said, when it comes to the hoes on that podcast, I don't even talk about the hoes on that podcast. I know what they're there for. So yeah, the one time that I actually attacked a woman on that show was Lila Rose. When it comes to the Whatever podcast. But Lila Rose, to me, she's the worst. I cannot stand that woman. She's so full of it, and she's just getting away with it clean. Like, I'm talking about nobody has no beef or no, because the young female conservatives, you can already tell their grip. It's pretty easy, right? The Brett Coopers of the world, Billy Ray, right? They just caught Sarah Stock, the obvious ones. But Lila Rose, I can't stand her at all. Garrett Grant says advertising 304s for over 8 hours is crazy work. I ain't never seen no shit like this. Never. This is wild. 8 hours, 9 hours. People are watching this. Specifically young men. This is not. What the fuck? Cause this is starting to make sense now. Cause watch this. Watch this. There's certain spaces I go into now in real life, and particularly the young boys coming up, I've seen a lot of them talk, and they just expect. I think the reason why the young dudes, they get played because they expect the women to act like what they see on these podcasts, and they don't understand women are a lot more cunning than that. Like, these are just the obvious. These are the obvious ones, but most hoes, they know how to disguise their nasty work, right? So they'll easily fall for a girl that can just talk normally. So they'll just talk normally, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, I think she's the one," and then they get their heart broken the most by that one. But it's starting now. It's starting to make sense what's going on right now, right? Even like, because I'm the quiet one, right? But there's certain spots where I go in there. A lot of the dudes, they're afraid to say anything. And I will literally just say, hello, how are you doing? He'd be like, wow, you're so, and then the one of the ladies will be like, wow, you're so nice. What's your name? Oh my gosh, you have such a nice voice and you're such a nice, like, what the fuck? All I said was hello. It's just, but now what's happening, yeah, this is not good. I see what the problem is now. Yeah, we have to, all these hoe ass niggas trying to cancel Corey Holcomb. Why don't we try to cancel this? Like the fuck? Like this should be canceled. So yeah, this is the shit. Yeah, technically this is the shit that, because I remember Corey Holcomb was saying, look, I'm seeing some of these podcasts and they be having all these hoes around. And I immediately thought he was talking about Fresh and Fit. So I was like, yeah, he's talking about Fresh. Nah, I think because it was a specific thing he was talking about. He said with these long ass podcasts. And me, I'm thinking, oh yeah, 2 hours, 3 hours is too long. No, he probably saw the whatever podcast. And he was like, what the fuck is this? Because the Fresh and Fit model is not a new model. I saw, you had Howard Stern, you had all these people. I saw Zoe Williams do this model. He would have his show every week. He'd bring these bitches on the show and they would be saying nothing. And Corey Holcomb would be like one of the guest people on the panel, and he'll just be, working his magic like he usually does. Not dissing them. He would never diss them. He would make the girls actually laugh. He would just go on there and just drop knowledge and make the girls laugh. But now what we see is you'll have these guys come on these shows with these females, and they're trying to basically lambast them and shame them. And it's like, okay, I don't think they're going to change, but whatever you do to get views. I used to see Corey Holcomb on like panels similar to that, but he was making the girls laugh, right? And he actually had their respect and he had their attention. It was very interesting how he was working how he was able to work the room, right? And you'll see it with Patrice O'Neal too, when he would be on the Opie Anthony show and they would have female guests, right? Yeah, but these new ninjas now, they think their job is to go on these shows and start shaming, and they don't realize those girls are there just for promotion. Wow, this is crazy. I did not know all these people are watching the whatever podcast, because I thought Fresh and Fit was the main problem. This is way worse. Holy, this is crazy. Got me sounding like academics now. And Kodak. This is crazy. Holy crap, bro. Damn. I'm looking at this views and then I'm looking at how long these episodes are. Oh, I think this is the girl that I was looking for. This might be the girl that I was looking for. This chick right here. Let me see if I can zoom in. So this chick right here. I remember like people on Twitter were simping over her just for her because she was just saying common sense things. It wasn't like it's really nothing to really brag about. But I know when I saw her though. Let me see. Do we have her? I hope they have her name on here. I hope they have her name. Let me see.
And if you're in Santa Barbara, I'm looking for a talent booker, and if you're in Santa Barbara, I'm looking for a talent booker and potentially a co-host. Yeah, so this isn't the video, but the original, like almost 300 people reacted to it. It was see if you can click on the original.
So is her name Natasha? Whoever that chick is, I think that's what her name is. Because I remember everybody was simping over that one broad. Yeah, I think that's her name.
Yeah, so this isn't the video, but yeah, so this isn't the video, but the original, like almost 300 people reacted to it. It was see if you can click on the original. Let's see if it plays.
There it is.
Oh, pause it.
Yeah.
Turn the audio on at the bottom there. Yeah, and then start from the beginning.
Yeah, whoever this chick is, I remember people was simping over this bro. And I didn't want to let them down. Like I don't want to let you guys down, but I know what type of broad she is. People might not. I'll let you guys in the chat. I'll let you guys do the summarizing because I know exactly what type of girl she is. And I'll give you a hint. Ninjas know what type of girl she is. But anyways, I'm going to leave that alone. I might be biased because I know a girl that looks exactly like her and she messes with ninjas only. So much so, like, I knew this. Like, I remember when I was young. Yeah, when I was in high school and I had reconnected with her because I knew her from like middle school. I'm not talking about the girl in the video. I'm talking about a girl that looks exactly like her. I knew who she was. I was like, oh, she gonna have a ninja baby. I don't know if it's gonna be me. I don't know if it's gonna be another ninja. She gonna have a ninja baby. And then lo and behold, I go on Facebook, post I think after like my freshman year of college, go on Facebook. I just happen to stumble upon her profile. I see her with a baby bump, but I see a baby bump but no father in sight. I was like, uh-oh. I was like, oh man. I'm like, I just hope y'all don't stop being fans with you know how like the conservatives, or people of the right, like they'll be a fan of a bitch. I don't know how you could. It's crazy. Of a I'm like, how are you a fan of a hoe, right? But they'll do this because they'll find somebody, a woman that repeats their talking points or whatever, whoever they deem worthy enough to defend. Then they'll find out that they slept with one black man in their past, and they just like, I want my. They'd be like, nah, we're revoking your membership. Oh man, that happened to what's her name, Ella Molding. I think, is that her name, Ella Molding? They found out she used to date black dudes back in the day when she was in college, and they revoked her membership. they revoked her conservativeship. Oh man. Pyro says, why don't women peep men on game and tell the dark nature of other women? Well, they only do it late, right? But there's no, in their mind, there's no incentive to put men on game, because then they would have to admit that they've used these tactics as well. You see, men are willing to throw other men under the bus to protect their daughters, right? So much so they'll throw themselves under the bus so they can. So they feel like if they tell their daughters the evil nature of men, this will deter them from being a hoe. And this actually has done the opposite, in my opinion. This has done the opposite, because now women know too much when it comes to men. So men have completely overshared to their daughters, to the point now women understand that it doesn't matter how bad they act, how they can be the biggest biche in the world and be such a bad person. They always know that they will always have attention from some men, even if it's not the men that they want. They know they're always going to have male attention, because men are always men want an opportunity to smash, and they're willing to take that attention to the bank. So because of men oversharing about the nature of men, women have found the cheat code. So women are not going to overshare about the evil nature of men. It's only when it affects them directly, where their sons become like direct targets, then they'll probably stick up for their son, but they're never going to reveal their nature, because it would throw themselves under the bus. They're not willing to do that. Alpha, the first one, says Rachel Wilson did all the stuff, but they prop her up. Like, Rachel Wilson is literally the final manifestation of what these hoes will become later on. She's the exact manifestation, the exact representation of what these hoes will become. So I like I said, I've never understood the hype, but people are easily impressed. Pyro says, come on, Chris, look at the female corn stars. We can be a fan of them. Well, I don't know, like that's what, unfortunately, you have these young men in general, but particularly young male conservatives. They have very limited experience with women. And when I say women, I'm meaning all types of women. Like me, or I'll say niggas, but really, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Niggas, we got experience, especially nowadays. Niggas, we got experience with women, white women, white women in the suburbs, white women in the country, white women in the hood, white women in the city, black women in the hood, black women in the suburbs, black women in the city, African women. You know what I mean? So you'll even have what's happening now. You have black men that were raised by single mothers. They have actually a better vantage point on what women are like than these young white male conservatives, believe it or not, because they're only looking at things from one point of view. The young black men, right, the ones that they accuse of being sassy, they see the good, the bad, the ugly when it comes to women. They know exactly how evil women can be, or how bad they can be, how, whatever. And then you have these young male conservatives, they have very limited experience with women. And then on top of that, yeah, COVID didn't help, right? COVID didn't help. And then now that you bring him into this world, so a lot of them, they really don't know. They really don't. You have the boomers giving them outdated advice. You have Gen X giving them advice that don't work. And then on top of that, with their limited experience. So of course they'll see a girl like this that I'm showing you right here. She'll say the talking points, but she doesn't show the talking points, if that makes sense. The only women that I've seen that I can back up is and they're not even really, they're not part of the so-called manosphere space, but I can back them, is Daphne and the Crimson Cure. Those are the only two women I can say, you know what, I like I like what they're doing, right? Everybody else, they're chameleons, right? The reason why I like Daphne is because first of all, she's married. She's been married for over 10 years, I think. But she's been married for a little bit now. And then on top, what she does, she doesn't just post what she posts on Twitter. She invades female group chats, and then she'll call the police and get she gets women locked. She get women locked up. She works with the police. She makes sure she has the police on the hotline, and she makes sure women that be lying on men and stuff get locked up. Now, obviously, a lot more can be done, but it looks like out of all the hoes out here, out of all the women that say that they're for men, she's doing the most. Everybody else, they just talking. She's actually, doing action, putting work in. Without Daphne, the brick lady wouldn't have gotten locked up. A lot of people don't know this, but first of all, she's a black woman, so that doesn't help, right? So people are just are going to automatically dismiss her. The conservatives are all automatically going to dismiss her. And then on top of that, she's already married, so she doesn't show herself off on her page. She don't be posting no bikini pic. She just posts a picture of her face and her husband. That's what Daphne does, right? So her following is just going to be men that are grateful in terms of helping them out if they actually have a case. If their baby mama's dragging their name in the dirt, they'll call her and hope that she can do something about it. Everybody else, they be capping. Crimson Cure, apparently she used to be married, but she introduced, the term the hyenas, right? And I'll say this: Crimson Cure says things about BWs that even most men are afraid to say. So she's almost of the Sherazad Ali, almost in the mold of that. You know what I mean? So that's why I have respect for Kendra. And then obviously Sherazad Ali was she was already ahead of her time. She was already talking about this stuff in the 90s. So, you know what I mean? So she did what she could. But most of these broads here, they're chameleons, right? And Rachel Wilson should be the last person talking about anything, because her life is to say her life is a mess or a wreck is a massive understatement. And first of all, I told Andrew Wilson, stop doing these debates with these low-hanging fruit people. But Andrew himself is low-hanging fruit. This is why he picks these kind of debates. But that's why I can't respect a nigga like Andrew Wilson. It's really hard for me to respect somebody like that. Because this is what Andrew.
That's what they're attracted to.
This is what Andrew Wilson doesn't understand. You saw that the page I showed you, right? 8 hours long, 9 hours long. Andrew Wilson just recently 8-hour debate with Not So Erudite. Like, why? Why would you do that? Because now, if Not So Erudite can get a clip out of you and make you look like a retard, people are going to say that you lost the debate. And then what are you going to have Andrew Wilson fans in the comments? No, you guys didn't watch the full 8-hour debate. He destroyed. And niggas, you know what niggas gonna be like, nigga, you watched that 8-hour debate? That's I said the same thing with the 6-hour debate with Charlie. I'm like, people are not gonna watch no 6-hour debate. They're just gonna take the clips. People don't got no time for that. You didn't watch the full 6-hour debate. Tell me you're a loser without saying you're a loser. This dude will be like, okay, this is my formal debate with not so erudite. Like Andrew Wilson is so thick-headed. He doesn't even realize when he went on the PBD podcast and the guy was asking him like, why are you doing these debates with these people? And he doesn't even understand what Patrick Bet-David, especially when they were showing the clips of Charlie saying what she said about him and then him firing back at her. He made himself look stupid. And this is in front of men. Like when it comes to showing your highlights tape, I don't. If I'm showing somebody my highlights tape, why would I show a highlight tape of me dribbling past a female, right? But that's what Andrew Wilson did, and it was a highlight tape of actually her making him look bad, but he couldn't see it. He doesn't even realize he lost a lot of cool points, or I'll say there's a lot of respect from Patrick Bet-David and company that was watching along with him. But he doesn't see it. He doesn't get it. 6-hour long podcast, 8-hour long debates. Bruh. Pyro says that's true, Chris, but if you peep men with game, they don't have to become involuntarily. He says, I think people who watch 8 hours live streams and people who watch clips not get the full context are both losers in my opinion. Of course. But that's why I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Normies are not, this is why you can't debate people like that. And because you're just, I'm gonna make this girl look stupid. Nah, that's a bad strategy. Because the normies are gonna look at the normies are just gonna look at the clips. Like if if I'm gonna, so-called, get in a debate, I'm not. I told you guys, I make it clear, I'm not debating women on my podcast. Now we can maybe talk about some sports. I'll make a separate channel. We can talk about our sports opinions and stuff like that. I honestly don't mind talking about, like, say if if I had like a soccer channel and then we'll just talk about strictly soccer, I don't mind. But when it comes to this kind of stuff, when it comes to politics, but especially men and women dynamics, relationships, I'm not going to be debating women about this stuff. Are you kidding me? Bro, that's no, that's not going to happen on this channel. Respectfully, and I say that we're not debating. You got these clown ass niggas like Brandon Jamal, right? The guy that made the Single Mom song. This dude is he's talking about how he was at Thanksgiving and he got into a fight with his female cousin. How? Oh man, it was just, bro, you don't talk about this stuff with your female with your female relatives. You got to be a special type of retard to do that. But a lot of these men, they haven't been brought up. They haven't been brought up right. You don't talk about this stuff with your mom or your sister or your whatever. Even though they, like, for example, like believe it or not, my aunts, my mom and my sister, they share similar viewpoints with mine, even harsher viewpoints than mine, believe it or not. But I still don't talk about this stuff with them. Right? So this is not, that's not what you do. In fact, I'll say this: I know uh, I have female cousins that think even more harshly about, like, I'm talking about the opinions that I have. They not only agree with that, but like times 15, believe it or not. Right. But I still don't talk about this stuff with them. Like, you don't talk about this stuff, you know. But these dudes out here, I don't know who's been raising them. I'll even say, let me even give a shout out to the girls I went to high school with. They warned me about what these hoes was going to do in college. Like they gave me warning. I gotta give them credit. I can't act like I was completely blindfolded. They were like, "Well, Chris, I don't think you should completely trust blah 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 blah." Right? Because a woman will do this, a lot of them. I'll say a lot of them put me on game. I think I believe the most of the women that I made myself available for, they were pretty honest with me in high school. Right. So I gotta give credit where credit is due. College was interesting though. I was like, oh. I'm like, I didn't know bitches was like this. For real, for real. But that's a whole other story. Pyro the Flame King says he was bad mouthing her favorite pop star. Oh, you're probably talking about Andrew. But anyways, let me see if I can go back. Let me see if I can go back.
300 people react.
See if I can go back. So yeah, apparently this happened recently. An 8-hour debate between Not So Erudite and Andrew Wilson. Why would somebody watch this? Mind you, I have my opinions on Not So Erudite, but people like that, they don't even matter to me. I guess that's how young dudes get their rocks off nowadays. Oh, he was Brandon. He said he was bad mouthing her, bruh. So that's why they got into the. Yeah, Brandon Jamal. He clearly this boy was not raised right, and I say that respectfully. Yeah, so Brandon wasn't raised right. If you are at a family gathering, and especially if you feel like you're pushing the nerves, I would just ease off, just back off. Just back off. It's a family gathering, and then you want to talk about Cardi B pushing whatever she's you want to talk about Megan Thee Stallion twerking at an election rally. I'm not going to talk about none of that stuff, or Cardi B being a retard, or a Beyonce pushing whatever she's pushing. Don't even. Then now he's making these videos, man. I had to press charges on my female. I'm like, nigga, you. Good Lord. Because when I saw this, I'm like, even I remember also, let me bring up another person, Anton Day. I remember last year, or I think it was recently, where he had a holiday dinner. He went home for the holidays, and then he said he got into a fight with his family members. I'm like, over what? And basically, it's over social commentary and politics. I'm like, what? These niggas will watch. Look, I'm not talking politics with my uncle, with my aunt, right? First of all, whatever they say, I'm just gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna just let them rant, and then just move on, then just move on with my life. Do you know how many musicians I've been working with? They'd be talking about Orange Man. You think I care? All of them say Orange Man bad. Orange. That's literally all they talk. And I'm like, okay. Just I'm like, whatever. Who gives a F? These dudes these dudes will literally block their own blessings. They will block their own blessings just to stick up for a politician that they don't know. Block their own blessings because you wanna talk about the obvious. You want to talk about Cardi B being a hoe. We know. I'm not gonna risk getting into a fight with a female family member over Cardi B or Meg Thee Stallion or a Sexy Red. Let the hens talk about their chicken stuff. I'm not gonna do that. You know what I do? You know what I'll be with my female cousins. You know what we talk about? Believe it or not, you guys might laugh at me. I still talk about like cartoons from what we watched when we were kids. I'll be like, man, I'll be still watching blah blah blah. I'm like, Chris, they'll be like, man, Chris, you 20 something, and then we get into a whole, playful argument about that same cartoon, and then we find out we're still all watching the same stuff, and then it just turns into something lighthearted. Why are we talking about politics with our families? Why don't we when we're with our families, we'll talk about something that gives us positive energy. No, I'm gonna show how based I am. I'm gonna show my family I'm gonna show the family how walking sheep they are. Niggas, you're spending time with your family. Enjoy your family time. Hey, Chris, where's your woman? Hey, I don't have one right now. Oh man, you know what that means? I'm like, hey man, whatever. just roll with it. If you're confident in your lifestyle, or when you know the truth, it's not even a thing. It's really not even a thing. These dudes are sitting there getting into full-blown arguments with their female family members over nothing. This is wild. These are, like Kwame Brown said, these are your leaders, right? And mind you, Brandon Jamal, he's in his 30s. This boy is in his 30s, and he's acting like this, man. I don't know what's going on with these boys here, boy. But anyways, young men, please stop watching the Whatever podcast. That's just not good for your brain. Now, luckily, I've never been, subscribed. Oh.
What you display on the internet and what you display on the
Have you seen that clip of Anton Daniels talking about that he's the closest thing to God while he was on the Fresh and Fit podcast? Have you seen that? This is crazy. I saw this a couple days ago. This dude was arguing with the broads on the Fresh and Fit podcast, and he said he was the closest thing to God. This nigga.
You've only been with one woman, so how do you have all this information on dating? So now you is not God.
So right here. See if I can play it.
What you display on the internet and what you display on the internet is that you're married and you've only been with one woman. So how do you have all this information on dating? So now you is not God.
Now this is where he violated. This is a Christian man.
I'm the closest to Jesus that you gonna ever see in real time. Fuck them kids, bro. That's not your kid. He don't look like you. I got a chick like you that look just like you in my phone right now that's trying to get flew out. Again! Sorry. You never said that you was gay, so...
It's interesting though. I do find it interesting because one day I'll show you those panels that Corey Holcomb used to be on with the Zoe Williams show. Because I'm thinking back at those panels. Most of the time, Corey Holcomb was making these hoes laugh. he argued with really none of them. The only time I seen him with arguments on the panel is with was with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, one other hoe with a small book, and it's mostly dudes that he'll get into the actual arguments with. It's just those two women, which was Dr. Cheyenne Bryant and another broad. A bitch with a small book. I forgot what her name is. That's the only time. And then I remember he had a clip that went viral where one of the women he said, "I feel sorry for your baby mom," and then he said, "I feel sorry for your aborted kids." That's the only. But most of the time when he had like those female panels, when he was on these all female panels, he was making them laugh, kicking it, dropping knowledge. But yet they be saying that he hates women. I don't see it. I don't see it. But yeah, Anton Daniels was acting unhinged on the Fresh and Fit pod. Real unhinged.
Live. Nope, we suffering, chat. We suffering.
You delusional.
I ain't never delusional.
Yes,
I'm
you are.
him.
Yeah.
You keep looking at bitch. You don't have your fingernails right. You don't have no real bitch in your life.
I don't let no woman touch my
You don't
fingers.
have no real bitch in your life.
This girl is violating. You ain't got no real bitch in your life. What the, bro? Fight back, bro.
The first thing real. That's what's wrong.
Cool. The only nigga in here that's been married for 21 years successfully and rich as fuck. You listen. You better Google.
So now he's promoting his marriage. Anyways, this is oh goodness. But anyways, let me say before I sign off, Pyro the Flame King says, I think you mentioned some woman being a loser because of things she did in her life. I don't think it was the politics. Oh, she said, I think he mentioned some woman being a loser because the things she did in her life. I don't think it was. Still, Brandon should not be. That's not the time to do that. That's not the time to do that. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I always say this, you can't be talking, like meaning at the end of the day, most times the men are going to be the biggest financial, supporters or the contributors of the family, right? So at the end of the day, he calls the shots. So for example, when at one point, like there are certain male relatives in my family that are soft spoken, but they do the financial. They're heavy on with the financial contribution. Now you'll have females in that family. They'll talk crazy-ish, but when he's there, they don't talk. They don't talk that same hot shit. And mind you, he doesn't have to say, "Oh, don't talk disrespectful about." No, they don't, because they already know he's the guy leading the group, and at the end of the day, he's going to speak with his wallet. So you can do all that jokey with this guy all you want to, but at the end of the day, he's the one dealing with the dough. It's best if you keep your mouth shut, or best be on your best behavior, because he won't say he's not fucking with you no more. He'll just not financially support you no more. He commands at one point. It's not really the same nowadays now because of his health and whatever. He commands respect. He doesn't demand respect. right? So that's how it is. People know that I'll just say for me in my life, right? Niggas know I don't really say much in terms of outside, when it comes to whatever. But I will literally disappear. if I'm not feeling something, I'm not gonna complain. I'll just walk away. That's what I do. I'll walk away like a motherfucker, right? But too many men, they underestimate the power of just walking away. Because there's been certain points where I'm like, I'll just ghost, and then certain actions get done because they're like, yo, Chris, I knew they said we knew something was wrong because you didn't say nothing in the group chat for whatever. You wasn't answering our calls. Well, we was panicking. We was like, what the fuck happened? So a lot of dudes, they've never been in that leverage position where they could just walk away and things are done because they walk away, right? So I just believe as a man, you're really supposed to only say something like once, maybe twice. Niggas are gonna act like they didn't hear what you said, but look, you say what you need to do as a man once, maybe twice. If they don't get the message, that's it. Right. But anyway, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone. And mind you, I don't think I have the keys when it comes to manhood and all that, but I just believe, just me personally, I don't, all this shit about, boasting and doing all that, you don't need to do all that. In my opinion, I think as a man, you must command respect, not demand it. So even me, just when it comes to other men, some dude will say, like, or somebody will say some weirdo ish, whatever. Especially nowadays, what I do, if somebody say some suspect ish to me, I just basically just stop talking to them. They get the hint real quick, just like that, because I barely be talking anyways. And then now, if you're being disrespectful, if you're not my friend like that, it's only a few. Like I said, if you're not my friend like that, you have to be a little bit more respectful. Because I'll leave, or I'll just not talk to you. It does, and for some reason, people they get the hint real quick. Even like I'll see people that I used to go to high school with or whatever, and it's clear I don't fuck with them. It doesn't need. Not much needs to be said. Hey, Chris, how's it going? I'll just have the. I wish you guys could see my face. I'll just be. Just my face gets like really aggressive, and I'll just be like. And you can tell if I fuck with you now. Like I make it very clear. Like if it's somebody that I actually have respect for, that I have that I actually want to talk to, I'll have my arm around their shoulder. What's up? How you doing? And blah blah blah. Here's my number. All of that. I will go out of my way to show you that when you talk, I want to listen to what you have to say, and I respect what we had in the past, right? But if I don't fuck with you, that's it. I'm just not gonna, you know what I mean? Now it's kind of different when it comes to online and texting and all that stuff, or Instagram, but I'm talking about in real life. People know what they're doing. People know what they're doing. People can act like, oh, I didn't know I was disrespecting you. Please. I'm at that age, and please stop. I've been with like world-class musicians, me being the worst person and me fucking it up, not doing well music wise, and they still have the decency to come to me respectfully and be like, yo, Chris, you need to do this, you need to work on this, and blah blah blah. If they can do that, and meaning they have zero incentive to really help me because I'm already supposed to be, if they have the decency to show me the respect to not put me on blast, to not disrespect me in front of the crowd, not throw me under the bus, people know what they're doing out here. I'm gonna just leave it at that. People can act like, oh, I don't know. Watch your mouth. Power of the Flame King says, if I was on the podcast, I would reveal my true self. He says, and like trying to play the good dude and who don't know women, and the women would get mad and trying to explain things to me like I'm retarded. Look, it's like I just let, like, when it comes to the women in those situations, I'm gonna just let them talk. I'm not gonna be like, now this is the difference with me. This is the difference. Now, when a man will say some shit, if a man is saying some shit, then I will speak up. So if a man has a weird opinion about something, then I'll speak up. I'm not gonna. I basically let the women say whatever they want, especially in a situation where I'm just trying to keep the peace. I ain't trying to. I'm not arguing with broads. Y'all wild. But it's interesting. You'll be certain men, they're clearly trying to pander, or they're saying something to gain some kind of cootie points, and then I'll call that out. So I remember somebody I knew tried to say some slick shit about somebody I know, and he tried to do the woman card thing. He said, but didn't he get caught on camera being a woman? I'm like, well, the person in question, she probably had it coming. Right? But that's like something I'll say, meaning like the women in that group, when I said that, they had nothing to say about that situation anyways. Because believe it or not, there are women out there that they're not going to speak on things that they don't know of. And they didn't even argue with me when I said she such and such probably had it come, when they were talking about Corey Holcomb, right? Didn't even, because I don't say that stuff normally. So if I said she probably had it coming, she probably had it coming. This is not something I just say. Right? But some people, a lot of people, they don't command respect like that. They'll fall for anything. Niggas are like I said, I'll sign off with this. I might react to one more video, but let me tell you guys, right? Nigga, like when you're in public, you have to conduct. I just believe in conducting yourself in a respectful manner, and not only conducting yourself in a respectful manner, really living, really being a disciplined person, to the point where if you show up, take for example, I show up at certain places, people start acting correct. Right? When I start doing the music, right? When I go to music, they'll literally tell me, oh yeah, Chris, I always try to ask you for drinks, but you're the only person that be turning my shit down. Right? So they already know. As soon as I walk in, they be like, oh yeah, Chris, we already know you don't. People start putting they thing away. People start putting they drinks away. It's not that, and like I said, I don't care whether they drink or not, but they've always respected where I'm not telling them to put their drinks away. They just do it. If I'm doing a session with them, I don't tell, hey, correct guys, I don't like the smoking. I don't do that. It's just when they ask me, I just say I don't do it. and I don't harp about the health and the negative side effects. I'm like, you can do whatever you're doing. I'm good. So now they just see me and everything gets, they put the shit away like I'm their parent or something. But I've never told them to stop. But this is what conservatives do. They will start preaching to you about this and that. And then they'll look at somebody like me and they'll think I smoke. they'll get me completely wrong. That's really the mistake that they do. They'll still start preaching to you about that. Then they'll try to use somebody as an example and they're completely wrong about the example. And then while they think that nobody's looking, they're doing the same thing that they told you not to do. That's what conservatives do, from what I've seen. So conservatives, or even I'll say young men in general, they got it wrong. You don't demand respect, you command respect. A lot of stuff you gotta prove. You don't just show up and somebody just gotta respect you because you show up. Nah, nigga, like you gotta put in work. You gotta put in some kind of work. You gotta put in some kind of skin in the game. Women don't have to work. And that's up to you too, because the women that's around me, they got to put in some kind of work. And I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about you need to actually have talent for me to be associated with you. There's certain women that they get mad over time because I don't want to necessarily do work with them, even though they like how I do work, but I don't want to work with them because they're not that talented, or as personality wise, they're hard to work with. So I'll just be like, oh, why don't we collaborate? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Just, nigga, you know. Oh man. Oh, watch this. I trust me. This one day somebody's gonna use this against me. Remember when I told you I work with the gay artist, or because at the time he was wearing a wig. He doesn't wear the wig anymore. I've noticed that. But his music was actually decent enough for me to take a chance on him. Right. But he's not the only person I've worked with. I've worked with a couple of other artists. But I already know people are going to use that against me. Like, well, you worked with him. Well, I've also worked with other people as well. You know, some people, they just don't make you. If you don't make the cut, you don't make the cut. But people take that personally. Some people are not that talented enough for me to take that chance with. The women that I associate myself with, especially when it comes to the music game, you have to have some kind of talent. You have to. There's a female bassist I know. I'm talking about, this is literally one of the most talented. She might be the most talented bassist in general that I've ever worked with, outside of one older man. But when she was in Connecticut, when she was in Connecticut, outside of her church, people weren't really trying to give her shine. Meaning, guys weren't trying to really take a chance with her. I don't know why. Maybe because she's not the standard of beauty per se when it comes to her physical looks. But I'm like, this is like the most talented. She's blowing up on Instagram, by the way. I don't want to say her name, but she should have been blown up at 19. I remember watching her play at 19. And I'm like, this is the most talented bass player I've played with outside of the man that I'm working, the older man that I'm working with right now. And nobody's trying to take her on the road. Nobody's trying to really give her a chance, specifically in Connecticut. I'm like, I'm sorry. In Connecticut, there's not, I told one of the band, I'm like, in Connecticut, there's not, outside of Broski, there's not a better bass player in Connecticut, I think, than this woman, than this young lady. But she had to leave Connecticut to really get the shine that she deserved. And all these people that they say they're pro women, particularly these panders, they be capping. The women that they'll recruit for their bands are women that they have a chance of fucking, or they already fucked and they're trying to give her opportunity. This is why a lot of these dudes, they're not respectable. They're not respectable. If I remember I had offered her a gig at one point, but she had already moved to New Jersey. Oh shit, I'm saying a little bit too much. But I was surprised that people in Connecticut weren't trying to give. I'm like, bro, I would have hired her if I had the money, I would have been hired her. But I'll say give it this young lady that I'm talking about, I'll just give it a month or two. Because she's already blowing up on Instagram like crazy. Give it a month or two, somebody's gonna pick her up for the road. But that's what I've noticed, that a lot of dudes that will be out here doing it, when it comes to, they'll be like, oh yeah, they'll be mad at me for saying, or they'll be mad at Cam for saying, oh no, I can't be friends with women, I'm gonna smash him. And they will be mad at Cam for saying that. But when it comes to them recruiting women, they recruit women that they feel like they can smash or that they want to smash. And if it comes to hiring a woman with actual skills versus a woman with a decent amount of skills, but they have a chance of smashing, or they want to smash that, or the woman is smashable, they're going to choose the prettier, smashable woman. That's what dudes do. But then get mad at Cam or me when I say, man and woman can't be friends. I can go on and on about that. There's these motherfuckers will make co-ed teams and recruit trash women to be on a team. Meanwhile, I do the recruiting for one day, and I bring in a female that can outplay everybody, including me. And I'm like, how does it take me a day and I bring in somebody that's way better than any of the females that y'all brought in? And this bitch is not even my friend. I literally just met her that day. What the fuck is y'all doing? But I'm the misogynist. I'm the misogynist. When I say men and women can't be friends, something wrong with me. You a pervert and all this shit. But when it's time to actually recruiting female talent, niggas be slick. they be trying to work with girls that they really want to fuck. I'm talking about really push. Hey man, we should really work together. I see this shit all the time. I'll be laughing. And I'll be like, why don't you work with such and such? This person actually matches your, but the person's probably out, probably not good for the camera, probably, Or when it's time to actually recruit talented women, but because they're not this, or they're not skinny enough, they're not whatever, they're not light skinned enough, whatever, they get brushed to the side for somebody that's going to look good for the cameras, or somebody that they like to look at. Pyro's funny. Pyro the Flame King says, Rainbow Ninjas always make good music. They must be doing some dark magic. Like I said, Frank Ocean, his music is really good. By the way, a lot of these gospel artists, Donnie McClurkin has one of my favorite gospel CDs I've ever listened to. Donnie McClurkin, right? These guys, especially you talking about these gospel artists, they make some great music, but they be R. Kelly, right? These entertainers are freaks, dog. But their music is on a different level. Can't I it is what it is. Oh, I know what's a makeup artist, this dude, right? He makes great music. Now, I never worked with him, right? He makes great music though. Great music. I got to give him his credit. Another dude I know. Now, I because we don't have a relationship like that, meaning he's not like a friend, but and I don't know him on a first name basis, but his music is good. And if somebody told me, "Hey, what do you think about such and such?" I won't go on the road with him because it ain't like that. But he's good. He's good. He's good at what he does. But I found it funny because I just knew like one of the best bassists I knew. She was a woman, but she's not like she's on the she's not the the standard body type per se, or whatever people want to say. But I thought it was about talent. I thought it was about empowering women and all this shit. But people be capping, man. They be full of cap. But anyway, you see 235. Let me see if I can do like one more Instagram video to react to. I know this was basically a topic list type of show, but I like shows like this low key. See if I can find some older, lonely guys who have, let me see, black female comedians. Oh, this is a oh man. Hold on for a second. Hold on for a second. Let me make sure I didn't react to this video. Let me make sure I didn't react to this video. Yeah. Oh man, I just saw a clip. Okay, this is good. We should be good. Oh man. Hey boy. Yo, I don't know if you guys have seen this. I don't know if you guys have seen this. You see Joe Rogan. Oh yeah, I did see that. So Alpha, the first one, he's talking about Rachel Wilson has recently she did a episode with Joe Rogan. Oh my God. It's the end of the world, man. It's not. Every time she talks, I can't take her seriously. But like I said, because Andrew Wilson had a interview with Joe Rogan, so it's not surprising. But I remember seeing the clips already of the Rachel Wilson being on Joe Rogan. I'm like, oh Lord. I mean, I can't. I'm pretty sure I already like. I didn't listen to any of the clips, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the same thing. I can't believe what's happening with this feminism and what they're saying nowadays. And now, nigga, I don't want to hear that shit, especially coming from her. What's the point? What's the point? Particularly with Andrew Wilson, what's the point in you talking with these hoes, talking about what they shouldn't be doing, and you literally marry the embodiment of what these feminists they hope to be later on in life. That, bruh, what's the point of them changing if somebody like you exists? If you're Andrew Wilson, what's the point? And on top of that, I'm getting tired of Andrew Wilson and Rachel Wilson lying about how marriage works and like how the family court system works. Like they'll look at you with a straight face and say, "Nah, the church actually helps, divorced men." And I'm like, "What the fuck? What is wrong with these people?" But recently, when I saw the Andrew Wilson debate with Richard Cooper, that told me everything I needed to know. Because he was talking about everything needs to be catered about around a child growing up with the man and the woman, not a woman alone or a man alone. Even though the stats show that single fathers actually raise better kids than even kids that grew up with a mom and a dad. Anybody that's really pro male or pro men, the talking point that we should be pushing is the kid will always do well if the father will is most likely to be successful in a dynamic where there's a dad. The dad is the common denominator of success. The dad being there. Not saying the mom is useless, but I'm just saying the common denominator of successful kids is the dad. It's either the dad raised the kid by himself or it's dad and mom together. But either way, the dad must be there. But he changed his whole talking point because he couldn't even run the religion shtick on Rich Cooper, because Rich Cooper put me on to a stat that I didn't even know. I didn't know that atheists and paganists had better, marriage / divorce rates than the Orthodox ecclesiastical Christians he was trying to talk about. I didn't even I saw the raw numbers. I was like, holy, this dude was Andrew Wilson. He changed his whole argument on the fly. This boy was moving the goalposts. He moved the goalposts like 6-7 times in that debate. Mind you, Rich Cooper is not a debater. That was his first debate. And Andrew Wilson was struggling. But let the Andrew Wilson fan tell you, they'll tell you that he destroyed Rich. And that was not the case. And I'm not a Rich Cooper fan at all. Like if somebody tell me pick between Andrew Wilson or Rich Cooper, I'm gonna say I pick the bridge. I'm gonna pick the bridge and I'm gonna jump off of it. Because both of those guys, I would never recommend men listen to any of those guys. But watching that debate, it was basically a close tie. And really, Rich Cooper could have won it had he not tried to, go on, he was advocating co-parenting, right? And co-parenting doesn't work. That's not a thing. Co-parenting is a scam. But if he wasn't running off that, he would have won the debate easily. I'm talking about easily won it. Now, probably not in the eyes of the average Andrew Wilson standard, but to me, he would have won the debate. He said, remember, Rachel is goals. Charlie said that. But anyways, I want you guys to watch this real quick. There was a situation.
This little girl came.
Right? DDG and the Capaholics, they had a situation where they had a 16-year-old girl coming in there with a fake ID, almost getting everybody in trouble. And Deshae Frost was the one that caught it in time, before anything crazy could have happened to this 16-year-old girl. But like I said, she came to the streamers party. You know, the Capaholics, the Capaholics, that's the streamer house that features DDG, Deshae Frost, etc. Right? She came in here looking for trouble. But I'm gonna let her do the talking right here.
This little girl came to a Capaholic party with a fake ID claiming that she was quote unquote 20 years old, which Deshae picked up on it because he asked her what year she was born in. She wasn't answering fast enough for me, which to me, that was a dead giveaway. But I understand she has an ID that says that she's 20 years old. But Kelly actually was the one that blew her cover because he asked her a question and her answer was so immature that he was like, nah, something ain't right with this situation, which I'm glad that he peeped it because this situation could have turned left real quick. What if something would have happened at this party with this young lady in here and she trying to get in here because she trying to get a little clout? Girl, you about to get the wrong clout because nobody knew she was 16 until they looked it up and saw that her daddy posed 16 sweet years. Girl, what are you doing? You about to have everybody locked up. Nah, after that, party over. After that, I think Capahola should just wrap it up. You know what I mean? Do the little traveling videos or something, but something else. Because these little parties going to have y'all locked up. Okay. I don't know. She fucked it up for everybody. This little girl.
Facts. I agree with this lady here. She messed it up for everybody. Now, this is the problem when you having these little trap house parties. I told you, Lil Ninja, stop doing this. Having these trap house parties, inviting all the wrong types of people. Now, I already told y'all, any young lady or lady that in her past if she's ever held a fake ID in her life, you cannot marry that woman, or you can't take that woman seriously. Any woman that's had a fake ID in her life, you cannot take her seriously. I don't care if she's white, black, Hispanic, Asian, Pacific Island, I don't care. If she's had a fake ID, there's nothing you can build with that woman. And all you got to do is ask, why do you need a fake ID? Especially when you're talking to white girls. It's funny. The excuses they make. Especially when you're talking to white girls about this. I'd be like, okay, why do you need a fake ID? Oh, I just want to dance. And I'm like, bitch, you can literally, all of y'all parents is alcoholics. You can literally raid your family's cabinet. They'll be in their basement having all these parties. I'm like, you could literally hold a sleepover and they will tell their parents, you're not allowed to come downstairs. They'll literally tell their parents this. And you can literally invite whoever you want. You guys could literally drink, smoke, do whatever you want in that basement. The parents are not going to reprimand you. Get drunk, do literally whatever you want in that basement in the safety of your own home. If somebody gets passed out drunk, you guys have a couch and you guys have plenty of options to stay your fast ass home. Stop it. You want to be out there with grown men, drinking and dancing with grown men, and see how far you can take it with the intention. That's why you have a fake ID. Don't tell me it's something else. You have a fake ID so you can see what it's like to have attention from grown men. Facts. And don't ever let these little hoes tell you anything different. Exactly. It's a predatory mindset. And this is why I'm sharing this vid right here, because I actually want to set a standard here.
Like, some women don't like you. You feel me? But you gonna figure it out one day, my nigga. That's not true. You think you got this attractive. What?
So here he is. You have this, I don't know, this nigga was the security. And like I said, apparently they said Deshae Frost, this the guy to the top left, he was the one that peeped. I keep telling you, them little niggas like Deshae Frost, they be quick to peep because they're actually at eye level with these bitches. So You know what I mean? So shout out to Deshae Frost. This is, I think, his second or third time catching these little fast heifers. So like I said, shout out to Deshae Frost for saving his team yet again. But you have little bitches like this, man. I'll be at bars, and you'll see little bitches like this all the time. And I'm the type, I will literally, like, especially if you approach me, I will ask you for your ID. I'll do that. I don't care. I've had women be mad at me in the past for doing that. I'll be like, I need to see that ID. Because I'm not playing that. But most dudes, it's not that they're already assuming everybody at the party, if he's like, say if it's a college party or he's at a bar, he's assuming everybody that's there they're of age. So you know what I mean? So people will, like, you'll have particularly women be giving excuses to these young ladies, and they'll be like, guys should already know. Bruh, come on.
So you at least think he's attractive, right? Wait, hold on. Okay. Wait.
You think he's attractive? You think he's attractive?
Come on now.
Here you think this guy probably thinks he's running game. He don't realize he got his arms around a 16-year-old.
Think you attractive? Like some women.
Nothing against our security. Now, I'm gonna be honest. When you come into our house, you have to show ID, take a picture, and get approved. So showing ID, showing picture. Long story short, right? This motherfucking, I guess it was a girl that happened to be 16, 17, 18 years old, 16, 17, 18 years old. As weird as that sound, got into our party, right? She got into our party. The thing is that she used a fake ID to get into a party. So, which is fucking weird. Like literally, she literally got into our party using a fake ID. So Deshae asked her, he said, hey, how old are you? She said 20. And Deshae was like, nothing against.
I remember also that other video. I remember I did a video too about a similar situation with Deshae Frost. And it was interesting. He caught those girls lying, but when I was looking at, I'm like, those girls, specifically one or two of them, I was like, they're not older than 18. But he caught them. He looked at their IDs. He's like, how old are you? And they said the wrong age. He said, nah, all of y'all gotta go. All of y'all gotta go. And I will say it like this, because a lot of people are afraid to say this, but I'm going to say it here. The laws are backwards when it comes to statutory rape, or when you talk about a rape charge, right? Say if something happened, God forbid, something had happened to that girl, meaning she sleeps with one of the guys at the Capaholics party. One of those guys could have gotten a statutory rape charge. Because even though, like, when it comes to statutory rape, even if both parties consent, if one is underage or not of the age of consent, that's a statutory rape charge. Now, I'm brave enough to say this. That law is backwards. I believe that's her graping him. This is why I say this. This is why I say this. People don't ever take into account the man's mind state. Imagine if you're a man, you at a club or you at a party, and you're just assuming everybody's of age, and then of course with her, she came in with a fake ID. Say even if you take the proper precautions and you check, okay, she has a ID, even though it's fake. How are you as a man supposed to know this was a fake ID? So you go and you sleep with that girl, and then later you find out she's 16. He got raped. He doesn't want that on his conscience that I mess with somebody underage. But she tricked him. If a man tricks a woman into her having sex with him under false, with a false pretense, he can go to jail for rape. Like if they have law, they were already introducing laws now where basically if a man lies about his income or he lies about his job to get sex, he can get a rape charge for that. That's how the laws are now. If a man doesn't disclose who he is as a person, or if a man, if he takes the condom off, whatever, any false pretense that like a man does and he gets sex, he can go to jail for rape. So now we have to take that logic. You'd be like, okay, what about the young ladies that sneak into these parties with fake IDs, sleep with older men, and lie to those men about their age? That's them graping that man. But most men are they're not willing to go that far. Because I consider that a criminal offense. A woman or a man going into clubs with fake IDs, that should be a criminal offense. Because now you're putting everybody's life in danger. If the bartender gives you a drink, he could lose his license. The bar could lose everything. The establishment, everybody can get sued. You are a massive liability if you are a underage, whatever, boy or girl, and you're going into these places with fake IDs. You should be charged as a criminal if you get caught. That's my opinion. People might think that's harsh, but you're putting everybody's life in danger. Literally everybody's life in danger. Now, if you are a female and you walking around with a fake ID and you sleeping with some dude that doesn't know your real age, you as the underage woman should be charged with a criminal. It should be a criminal charge attached to that. That's what I would propose. But most men aren't brave enough to say that. So you will see a video about that one soon, right? And you're gonna see a lot more videos. I got a lot more videos about that because I'm telling you, post 2026, there's gonna be a whole bunch of allegations, whole bunch of SA charges, women reminiscing about the past, trying to put cases on men that they slept with in the past. You're already seeing it. You already got Jeanette. What's her name from iCarly? Jeanette McCurdy. You're already seeing with her. She's talking about how she was a victim while, when she was 18 years old, she went out with this older dude. And now she's saying that she's a victim. I'm going to do a video on that as well. Just to show you I'm not making this stuff up. Watch this. Look at this. Where she went out with an older dude when she was 18. Now she's saying she's a victim later on.
We go into the hotel room and he asks me for a, which I don't know what that is because I was raised Mormon and because I was homeschooled.
That is cap. Jeanette, stop. Hold on for a second. Jeanette McCurdy, age 33 years old. She was 18 15 years ago. 15 years ago was 20. Stop it. You've been in the game. You were already in the industry. She was in the industry since she was literally in middle school. And she's talking about, I didn't know what a blowjob was. Yeah, that iCarly show, that's been going on since what, 2008, 2009? What did she talk? What did she talk? Boy, stop. Stop it, man. Stop it. You see, now this is where we start talking shit. This is where now I'm like, come on, you can't be lying to the public like this. Look at this.
We go into the hotel room and he asks me for a which I don't know what that is because I was raised Mormon and because I was homeschooled and I didn't know.
You was in the industry since you was a kid. Stop it.
Oh, he explains to me what it is and I'm like, well, that sounds kind of weird. I'm nervous to do this. He's like, I'll guide you through it, whatever.
Jeanette McCurdy detailing her first sexual experience with a then much older boyfriend on Call Her Daddy.
It's squirts in my mouth. And I'm like, what was that? Something came out. I thought, did he pee in my mouth? What the is happening?
I will say I've seen the headlines. I've seen a lot of the headlines that are flying around town.
And this headline acted as inspiration.
These hoes they act like you were forced to date a man more than half your age, where you could have easily dated dudes. There were plenty of dudes for you to date that were your age or around your age, and you decided to date a freaking like 30-year-old at 18. Come on.
For her new book, Half His Age, out January 20th. The fictional story inspired by Jeanette's real-life mate.
So we'll go in like I said, well, I can go on and on about this, but this is why I've been showing all of these things. That same 16-year-old that I just showed you, if they didn't catch her, she would have been able to flip it later on down the line and say, man, I was going to these parties and they just let me in and they knew I was underage, and they're gonna leave out the part that they had a fake ID. They're gonna leave out the part that they lied about their age. Oh, these creepy old men and these streamers are such predator. Trust me, I'm talking about 14 years later or 15 years down the line. If something comes out about Deshae Frost or one of these people, then she's gonna come out with a story. This is my story of being in a Capaholics frat house. Meanwhile, she snuck herself in there with a fake ID. And I will say, like that's one of these things. I'm not letting hoes get away with that. No, you will not. You will. I wish I got that LeBron James meme with Stephen A. Smith. No. There's a lot of things that I can tolerate. That nope, I am not tolerating that. We're not doing that. In this whole, this guy was we can't do this. Not in 2026. Nope. I'm not falling for that. And I'll say there's a lot of these dudes that will get married. I'm telling you, a lot of these dudes, it's going to be a whole bunch of dudes talking about, man, something happened to my wife when she was younger, and nope, she's not telling you the full story. It's going to be a lot of dudes talking. It's going to be a lot of dudes where basically, damn, it's just like, did all of our wives get raped? What happened? Nope. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. I can see the play though. I can see the play. But anyways, I gotta go to sleep. I'm falling asleep. I gotta go to sleep. But we will drop these videos tomorrow, man. Thank you guys for watching in. I know this was a bit, I just checked in. I was like around 11. I was like, let me just do this. Because I miss talking to the people. I was like, I got a lot. Let me put something out here. I feel like I haven't been doing that much streaming, but I'm going to be working really hard this week, like really working this hard in terms of when it comes to, because I picked up, I'm working at a black church right now. So I have a lot of work to do. So it is what it is. So I'm trying to, put some content out to make sure I don't abandon the people that actually support. So shout out to you guys, man. Thank you guys for checking in. Alpha the Great One, man. Thank you for checking in with me. Pyro, you guys, man, you already know. Thank you guys for checking in. I don't know what will be my outro video. Yeah, I don't know what my outro video will be. Oh, you already know the new one, the new video. Shout out to you guys, man. Thank you guys for
What sorcery is this?